back, Masters of the Cinematic Universe. I'm Joe, Eric's here, Doug's here, and we have someone else special today. Who do we have with us?
Hey, how you doing? This is Todd from, well, no. I'm so used to saying that.
You can do it. Go ahead.
You had one job.
Wait.
My
Hold on.
name's Todd Novak.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I did.
clapped.
Believe me, I know. I think I'm the most clapped guest in the history of your show. I'm proud of that.
Oh, man. Okay, so you want me to do that again?
No, we leave it at warts and all. But
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
please.
this will play. So Todd, so what show is Joe talking about?
That is the Guitar Knobs podcast.
it was actually a really fun show.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And that's where I got to meet John Esterly, and then we talked about him hitting peacocks with trains.
That
Yes.
is true. Yes.
I was on that episode. That was great. That was great. But yeah, the Guitar Knobs, man, that's the first gear-related podcast I ever listened to when I got back into this crazy game, and it's my favorite. You know,
Wow,
every
I appreciate
episode.
It's a great cast.
I had
Thank
the
you.
best time when I was on, and yeah, you guys are the best. I'm fanboying right now. I'm letting you know that.
Wow,
No, I am,
that
for
means
real,
a lot to
Todd,
me.
man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you so
You know?
much.
Like when you said you wanted to do this, but not only that, you were just so excited about it. I was in my glory. I
wasn't
going to
let
happy
you
you're here.
not let me on.
I know. It was so great because your enthusiasm was so genuine because you didn't even really know about it, and I mentioned it on the episode I was on, and I could hear it in your voice.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It just made me feel so good. So I'm thrilled you're here, buddy.
Yeah, awesome. Well, it's good to be with friends, and I love movies, and I love talking about them. So, like, yeah. Hell yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's kind of why we do this. It's fun.
Yeah.
Wait,
I'm
that's
down.
why we do this?
I mean, that's why I do this. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Especially
exactly,
this one, right?
No, I'm not getting paid.
Eric does it for the ladies. Because
Yeah.
ladies want to hear like a bunch of dudes get drunk and talk about movies. Nothing gets them going like that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Oh, shit. So what's new in you guys' lives? What's going on?
Yeah. All right, I'll go. Well, it's cool. My daughter is up north in New Hampshire visiting her oldest brother and his wife. Again, this is the first time they've seen each other since their wedding last August because everybody's fully vaccinated now. So I'm just excited for them. It warms my heart as a dad, just knowing that we've gotten some pictures of them hanging out already and barbecuing up there. It's warmer up in northern New Hampshire than it is where I am in the south coast of Mass today. And it's a good day, good weekend for me knowing that they're hanging out and that pretty soon, we're all going to be getting together. So I'm excited.
I like when you say up north, like, because you don't have very far to go. Like,
No.
You're literally almost out of country.
Right.
Like,
No.
If me and Eric say up north, it could be Georgia.
Well, I know, but see, they're in New Hampshire. They're closer to Canada than they are to even Boston.
Yeah.
That's how far north they are. So that is the land of the snow, the White Mountains up there. So
Yeah, it's like just going past the wall in fucking Game of Thrones.
yeah, it is the other side of the wall. There's definitely wildlings and all sorts of creatures.
Yeah, you get the Andrew Walsh walkers.
Yeah.
Got
Love
his
you, buddy.
ass.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just it's a heartwarming weekend for me, just for that reason. So
Nice.
Yep. All right, who's next?
Well, what's new for me? I got my first Pfizer vaccine.
Woo.
So I was I had a rough night because I had the old sore arm, and I kept waking up every 30 minutes because I'd lean over onto that arm, and it was kind of agonizing. But I'm happy to have it halfway done, and it was cool, man. Like I went to a mall, and it was in like a burnt out Macy's.
Oh,
Please
wow.
tell me it was Magic Mall.
No, that would have been better. But it just felt very like post-apocalyptic. It was kind of neat. Other than that, I was sent a cut of the short film that I made years and years ago
Bonus episode.
with my buddy Tim. And the movie we're going to talk about today, you might hear me talk a lot of shit about this film. Just keep in mind, after all of that I made this thing, and I have no room to speak. Because it is bad.
Yeah, we're gonna do a bonus episode, like Joe said, for that one. That's gonna be fun.
That'll be fun.
Yep.
Awesome. Oh yeah.
Joe, what's going on with you, bud?
Well, to go on with the vaccine trend, my wife got her vaccine shot, her first shot too, so my arm is sore as well. Yeah. No, I got a car though. I talked about it in next episode also.
Wait, how'd you do that?
Yeah, I talked about it in a few. Yeah, it's silver, so it's kind of like a DeLorean, and it can go 88 miles an hour at least. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can also go up to 140 at least.
Awesome.
But yeah, so that's fun.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't really got much else going on. Everything else is pretty much the same. I got some beer. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
You're about
some kind of milk stout.
Yeah, I had to prepare for this episode. 10%.
Like 200% proof.
Creme brulee milk stout.
Nice.
Yeah, I needed something to dull the pain as well.
Yeah, I was trying to search and destroy my brain cells.
Jeez.
What you got going on, Todd?
Woof. Well,
he's thinking of signing off.
Have to have a shower after this one. Well, actually, I'm really, really excited because I'm gearing up right now for on the 16th of April is the Guitar Knob's 5th anniversary.
Nice.
Wow. That's so
5
cool.
years after the first episode, and it's we did a 200th show, huge giveaway, gave away all kinds of stuff.
We
got really something special coming for we've got Patreon supporters that are going to, I think, hopefully be very happy. And
cool.
So just gearing up for some of this stuff, and just had a pretty big birthday, and got a new bike. It happens to be electric. I didn't try to get an electric bike. I just was like, I want this, I want this, and so I got this bike, and it's electric, and it looks pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie, it's like matte black, and
nice.
Nice.
It looks super tough when you're not pedaling. That's kind of it's like it's kind of one of these weird things. Like, technically, I guess you could say it could be an old man bike because it's electric. it has an electric component, but
woogie.
It looks like like a stealth bike.
Right.
It's just such a weird dichotomy of like, well, what is going on here? So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on with the band? You guys got
my
stuff
band,
coming up?
the Valentinos. Yes, we actually are recording new material, trying to get into studio for a second album, and I'm really, really excited about some of the development of the new stuff. The first album that we have out was, it's weird. You put something out and I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen, and I was very pleased with what the response that we got. We got some very good numbers on Spotify, and I think the biggest kick out of the whole thing, which is weird for certain, I guess, depending on how old you are. If I'm talking to somebody who is in high school right now, and I say it was a major thrill of my life to get my song on the radio, to listen to my song be set up on the radio.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, well, why would you be listening to the radio? It's like, it's kind of a weird thing.
No,
it's
exactly.
like, as a kid,
Exactly.
it's like, that's all you dream of that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that was one of my most played albums on Spotify last year.
Oh, wow. Thanks, man.
I dig it so much. Guys, it's old school, hard driving rock and roll. There's no other way to sum it up. I mean, just loud guitars, but played beautifully. It's the album's mixed flawlessly, and the songs are great.
Thank you. Thank you.
It hit my top 10 for most played for last year. Yeah,
man, dude, that makes me feel so.
I couldn't stop listening, man. I couldn't stop listening, and I still pop it on.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, no, man. You do really. The Valentinos. Yeah, look them up on Spotify.
Do you have is there any particular track that you liked more, or Anything like that?
The one that's see.
It's
and
okay
this
if you don't
isn't
know the names. I don't
no,
understand.
that's the thing. It's like I don't know the names of anything. Like I've already
Yeah.
forgotten the characters' names in Ocean's 11, and we just spent 2.5 hours talking about it. Okay,
I
that's
mean-
just my old man brain. It's the
Yeah.
one that starts off kind of slow and then just like
Oh
kicks
yeah,
in.
with the tremolo.
Yes, that's the
Yeah.
one. That's my favorite tune on the album.
I
Doug
tell you
has
what.
a thing for
it's-
guys that are in podcasts and have bands. So his other top bands are Playing Without a Pilot and Day to Remember.
All right, I won't lie about the Plane Without a Pilot. A Day to Remember, I didn't know who that was till a week ago. So
Me neither.
yeah, I know, Joe. But yeah, Todd, I that's why I asked because I'm a big fan of the band.
I really appreciate that. Thank
Your
you.
lead singer, she has it all. Oh man, she just
Yeah.
like she's the whole package.
She's smoking hot. She's mean as hell.
Yes.
She honestly like we have a like when we are practicing. Within 30 seconds, we're like fighting, but it's kind of like the good fighting. It's the kind of
Yes.
fighting that makes things good. But
Yeah.
we, we love hanging out together. We're great. And she's like 5'1", but she sounds like a freight train.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
it's-
yes, the whole package. Joe, if Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine were the lead singer in a band,
Okay.
that's the energy you get
Nice.
from this.
I've always been more of a Santiago guy myself, but I can see how the Rosa one
No.
would be good.
This is Rosa energy is what I mean, and it's
Yeah.
channeled in such
I saw
a great
her
way.
in something else. Oh, she was in Modern Family. She's
Oh, really?
Sofia Vergara's sister from Colombia.
Oh, that's cool.
I was like, oh shit, there's Rosa.
She does a lot of voiceover stuff for animation too.
Yeah.
Wow,
and
we
then
just
to-
went off on a tangent. I'm
And
sorry,
then to
guys.
bring it back, I was watching because my wife watches Modern Family with me. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, you should watch Big Trouble because Sofia Vergara's in that. Like, but you can't even tell it's her.
No, you can't. But anyway, yeah. So I just definitely wanted to bring that to light because everybody should get on the Valentino's bandwagon because it's some kick-ass rock and roll.
Oh,
Hell
man.
yeah. That's
Thank
what's
you
up.
so much.
And Todd, we wanna raise you up before we tear you down.
Yeah, that was part of why I brought it up.
We were currently in the search portion of the episode
Before you got destroyed.
before we got to the destroy portion. of
I'm
the episode.
telling you, I'm gonna change your minds.
All
I'm
right.
gonna.
Okay.
I'm here to evangelize this movie. This is one of those movies that I've recommended. You know, there's some albums, there's movies, there's books where you're like, if someone says, I read books, and you're like, oh, you have to read this book.
Yep.
I have done that with this movie so many times.
That's me. I'm that guy that like reads some obscure shit and then tells people they need to read it.
Yeah.
Joe does that.
There's an author called Dave Barry, and he really shits on Kias a lot, and it brings so much joy to my heart. Because both Doug and Eric drive Kias.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's why it brings joy to Joe's
I
heart
like that.
Oh yeah,
to crush
He
our
just
hearts.
shits
Yes.
all over them.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are talking about, okay, so I think the cat's out of the bag. You hate this movie.
Well,
We-
hate's not necessarily the right word.
Okay.
No, I can't say I hate it. I'm being honest
Okay.
with you.
I don't hate it. I'm just like, it tortures me.
Okay. So-
Todd, I'll say this: I
Yes.
found things in this movie that I really enjoyed.
Yes, there we go.
Right?
Okay.
That there were little nuggets for me, and we'll get into these. But like, as like an '80s, '90s kid, and seeing some movies come out like the Linklater thing with Slacker and Kevin Smith with Clerks, and that kind of energy, like that indie, very dialogue heavy energy.
Yeah.
I saw it in the distance, like, oh, okay, there's some things here, but
Yeah.
man, oh man, it was overshadowed by a lot.
Like, as
Yeah.
a kid who grew up in Miami, I would go to Miami Beach every once in a while. And at a distance, I'm like, damn, that's probably a good-looking girl. Then the closer I get, I start realizing it's not even a woman. It's just a drag queen, and I'm like, oh god,
Leave
I
it
should have
to
just
Joe.
I should have left this at a far.
Joe, wow, that was like the quintessential you. That description right now. That
we
analogy.
used to have like this thing called check the neck. You'd always have to check the neck.
Yeah, that
for Miami
apple.
Beach.
the neck.
That's hilarious. Check the
Wow.
Check the
neck. That
neck.
should be a T-shirt that they sell in one of those
Right.
shops.
Oh yeah.
Check the neck. Okay, so I mentioned before the show you guys gave me a fair warning that you're not going to go easy on this, and when I said that I had a good retort for this last night. So one of my daughters, I've got 3 daughters. One of my daughters is like, every night, Dad, what movie are you going to watch? She loves movies. She's into theater. She's like a giant sponge right now for every movie. And I have to basically say, you should not these, not yet. And not necessarily because it's got specific material that I'm trying to protect her from or anything, which there are several. But
Sure.
but also there's just you're not, this stuff's going to go over your head. You're not going to get it. So why don't you wait till you do get it and then see the movie for the first time and let it hit you how it's supposed to hit you, right? Anyways, she was begging to watch this movie, and I finally said, all right, let's watch Blade Runner.
Nice.
Ooh.
Okay.
Now, here's my thing. I can't stand that movie. I've watched it
Yeah, I don't
5
like it
or
either.
6 times, and every time I'm like, what the hell?
I also don't like the newer one.
What the hell? Why does everybody like this movie? So this may be your, how do I say? Search and Destroy may be to you what Blade Runner is to me.
Totally relatable. I
I don't
completely
know.
get that.
I don't like Blade Runner either, so I'm on board
Okay.
with you on that one too.
All right.
Well, Todd, let me ask you this: what you said you've watched Blade Runner 5 or 6 times.
Yes.
On those final viewings, did anything change for you?
The only thing that changed, and this happened last night because I don't know why, but when Rutger Hauer is sitting there at the end, I could never really figure out. I'm like, why the hell did he save Harrison Ford from falling? Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Why? What's the point? And earlier in the movie, they mentioned, and I've heard this, but for some reason it kind of it flickered in my head a little bit, and it said they're beginning to learn these emotions, and they went through them, and I thought, what if is one of 2 reasons? Rutger Hauer is either like showing that he learned like mercy, maybe, or that he wants at least a witness to his fast flame of life.
Right.
And
Yes
that was
and
it.
yes.
And everything else was crap.
But yeah, but to that point, you are correct on both counts. That's what it is. He wanted
Yeah.
a witness to it, but he was experiencing mercy and sympathy and humanness, and wanted to die. He knew he was dying. He wanted to die, embracing those newfound feelings and emotions. But he wanted a
Right.
witness.
He finally
He wanted a
became
witness for that.
like
He
human.
wanted someone left to tell the tale, to say this is what happened, and that's
Right.
That's it.
Which then makes his going back to oh man, I just blanked out on her name.
Sean
the
Young.
girl.
I
The
forget
girl that he's
her
Sean
character,
Young, yeah. Sean Young. It basically took the barrier down for him
Right.
for that.
Exactly.
Right.
And Edward James almost, saying that little thing. So like basically it's like crap.
Right.
Oh wait, what's this? Oh, okay.
Right.
All right. So now with that deeper understanding of Blade Runner,
Oh, that was about Blade Runner? I thought it was like about this.
did it?
It's like crap. Oh, something interesting. Crap.
And that being said, did it make you like Blade Runner any more
No.
than you did before? Okay. See,
I disliked it a little bit less.
Okay. All right.
Well, I think if I watched this movie, which to be fair, this is my 3rd viewing of your pick.
That's amazing.
Well, it's digestible. It's a short movie.
Yeah.
I hated it more each time.
You're kidding.
Now, see,
I
that
can't
had
wait
the
to hear
opposite
all the
effect on me.
reasons why.
I did dislike it less with each viewing, and I'm up to 4 times. So
Wow. I'm impressed you
We
guys
take
watched
this-
that
we
this
take
many
the
times.
show
I had to
seriously.
take detailed notes on this thing. I wish, man, I like a movie that's this short turned into like a 4-hour movie while I was taking notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and I'll play this movie now in the background as we talk about it, just to reignite the the feelings I had when I was watching it, which in this case are all bad. Not all bad, but mostly bad. Yeah.
The weird thing about this movie, all right, and this is for whoever might be wondering, like, what the hell's going on with this movie? These guys, it's Search and Destroy. It's like nobody's heard of this movie.
Yeah.
Everybody I tell about this, they're like, "What? There's a movie with these people in it?" The cast is ridiculous.
Oh,
it's
so good.
This is made by a director who had never directed a movie before, and written by a guy who had never written a play before.
I can tell.
But it ended up winning. What did it win? It won the Sundance. It won Sundance Best Picture for audience appreciation.
Really?
Like, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Was it like LSD day and they get
Oh,
rid of
wow.
fucking like acid or something? I will say, just reading through my notes here because I'm getting ready to start this here. They kind of warn you ahead of time what this movie's going to be. The past is pointless, and just because it happened to you doesn't make it interesting.
Yeah. Which is one of the great lines that Dennis
Yeah,
Hopper
that's true.
delivers.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly this movie.
Yeah.
Just because it happened doesn't make it interesting.
All right, let's
Oh,
get
man.
let's get
Well,
into
this is
this.
gonna be a
Yes, we're gonna have a good
blast.
time.
All right, so we are watching, or we have watched is it
Yep,
95?
1995.
1995.
The 1995 movie Search and Destroy by New Image Films and Martin Scorsese. I don't know how to say it. Like that.
Scorsese.
Right
Martin
off the bat,
Scorsese.
my interest is peaked, right? Because I'm like,
Yes.
oh wow, 95
Yeah.
Scorsese. You see the cast, you're like, man, this is really okay.
I'm like, this name sounds cool, so this is gonna be a fun movie.
yeah.
Yeah. Christopher Walken, John Turturro, Ethan Hawke, Dennis Hopper,
Yeah.
like Griffin
Star-studded.
Dunn.
Griffin Dunn in his prime.
Douglas.
Yeah. Roseanne Arquette. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, this everything. Like, this is why this makes me so. This is like watching the damn Frog Uber episode of Mandalorian. Like, you have all this rich shit you could pull from, and you have Yoda eating fucking eggs. I'm like,
Yeah, but you see, the difference is, Joe, you have more agreement on Search and Destroy than you do on that episode of The Mandalorian.
yeah, I'm putting this movie ahead of that episode.
Oh,
of that
wow.
show.
All right.
All right.
Let's get going.
So we start out with a black screen of, and then like it comes into Dr. Waxling, and he's giving his self-help course on the 4 rules of success, which is from his book about Daniel Strong called An Adventure Story. So I'm going to go ahead and run this clip and let him explain here what these rules are.
And here's what I've distilled from years of screw-up behavior and also triumph. 4 rules, which I call 4 rules of success. Now you drill these into your brain. Rule number 1, strength needs no excuse. Strength, huh? Strength needs no excuse. Number 2, the past is pointless. The past is pointless. And number 3, just because it happened to you doesn't make it interesting. And number 4, the things you apologize for are the things you want. Okay? The things you apologize for are the things you want. Now, these are rules that you can stand by any time of day, any year, whoever you happen to be or think you are. These will serve you come hell or high water. These are the 4 rules of success.
So basically, he's pointing at this book he wrote, and he's just telling you his 4 rules of success, which I don't really know how to explain this, except for it sounds like a cheap telemarketer trying to like just sell you, or a televangelist like trying to like sell you on his message.
There's some backstory to this. All right, that's a bit of a setup. Now, anybody that I'm I grew up in Southern California, and at the time that this was made, anybody who was watching this would have gone through a childhood that included L. Ron Hubbard and the Scientology explosion in Los Angeles. It was everywhere. And also on TV, there was a gentleman named Dr. Gene Scott, and he was like this pastor slash philosopher slash just sort of cretinous guy that just sat in a chair and looked at the camera and smoked a cigar, and he had a scraggly beard, and he would just drop this crazy knowledge. And so I really do believe that those two influences had an impact on where this whole thing stemmed from.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
pretty interesting.
I just looked up.
Yeah, I've
Gene
been by
Scott,
the,
and he was a California dude, but I do remember seeing him back then. So that does make more sense to me now as well.
Yeah, it was like super late
Yeah.
night, and
Yeah.
you'd flick it, and he's like right in the
He
middle
had
of a
that-
rant, and you're
he had
like,
that hat,
okay,
that weird friggin' hat on, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They always have a
This-
weird hat.
Yes.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of like the People's Church with Jim Jones, because it really made me want to kill myself.
Joe's not going to let up. Todd, just so you know, he's
And you
got
know
his
nobody
foot down
jokes
to the
about
floor.
Jim Jones.
The what?
Like no one ever jokes about Jim Jones.
No. As we shouldn't, Joe. But please proceed.
Yeah, it takes too long to get to the punchline.
Oh.
man.
Ding.
Well,
That's
guys,
pretty good.
it was a good
Yeah.
show. And,
Exactly. We're getting shut down. The knocks at the
Yeah.
door.
So I could just like take the easy way out and play the entire movie for you, since all this movie is literally one monologue after another.
yeah, this movie kind of felt like I was sitting in a high school audition for, I don't know,
Yeah.
a production of Macbeth or something.
Yeah.
It's very, and again, Todd, I apologize. Like I'm not here.
No.
I'm not here to shit on this thing, except
No apologies at all.
Except-
I'm looking forward to to what you guys hate about it, because I think I'm going to be able to produce some things. that you're
No
gonna be
rage Reds,
oh
bro.
damn.
it just like I have in my notes here that it began to feel like a joyless Clerks, where like a character would talk for a very, very, extensive period of time, and just,
It's kind of like the scene in Clerks where the mom comes in and asks for the happy puppy dog, but you don't get Randall listing off the movies. It's just her talking about wanting to watch the happy little puppy.
Yeah. Well, I think right from the get-go, what I did think was rather brilliant is that, all the movies at that time and even up to the beginning is like they do follow a bit of a formula, and right out of the gate, this breaks that formula.
Oh, it definitely does
I mean,
that.
you're just like, whoa, what is this? And so
I did ask
did
that quite a
artistic
few
marks
times
for
to
that
watch.
right out of the gate.
I did literally ask, what the fuck is going on in this movie? Like,
Right.
so many times.
well, that's something about it that I can appreciate too. It does try to do some different things, and you can't ever fault, an artistic endeavor that breaks the mold. But man, oh man, like it just feels like I'm watching a play. It has that energy to it.
Well,
And
Yeah.
sometimes that works really well, and sometimes it
yeah.
doesn't.
See, I got a lot to say. I'm just trying to figure out where to put it in. So Todd, you referenced the fact that Waxling's his spiel there definitely harkens back to Hubbard and Scott, and I didn't make that connection, but I completely agree with you. So it harkens back to that time, right, in the early to mid 90s. I had talked
Yeah.
to the guys about this previously, off air. I think a big issue that I have with this is that, all right, first off, the play in and of itself was critically acclaimed. It ran on Broadway for a few months. Griffin Dunn starred in it. It's definitely a different version of the story, or a slimmed down version of the story from this movie. There's a lot more characters added. I mean, Marie isn't even in the play. And what I think happened, as happened quite often in the 90s, and with this crew, all right, again, take a step back. The director, David Sally, he's an artist, okay? They were in the Hamptons him and Scorsese and whoever else was involved in this flick, and they were so fucked up on coke that they came up with the idea for this movie after seeing the play, and they all thought it was the best idea ever because that's what coke does to you. It makes you believe everything that you're saying is the best idea ever. That night and day, because I'm sure this went on, this coke-fueled party went on for days, they not only created this movie, but they solved world hunger and created world peace in their own eyes. These are the ideas they came up with. And that's where I think it goes off the rails. Like, for me, so Eric, you mentioned, it seemed like watching a play. The moments that I could tie directly to the play, I liked. It's the art school shit that the artist, David Sally, in his pretentious, mid-90s art way, are where it goes way off the rails. Like some of his ideas and that were put into this, it ruins it. It sours the good scenes so bad.
Like what?
All
Give me a good example.
The unexplained, when we get to it, but the unexplained scene where it's a freeze frame, and they just go on to the next scene. The Japanese restaurant scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what?
Uh-oh.
That's fantastic. Wait. So we just jumped
well, no,
ahead.
I don't. That's why I don't want to. I want to go.
Ahead?
I still. We
we'll
we
get
need
there.
to.
We'll
we
get
need
there.
to
All
go
right.
through this.
Oh my gosh.
Because
I got so many things
I've
to
literally
tie.
played 2 minutes of this movie.
I
know.
Not even 2
I
minutes
know.
of the movie and we stuck.
We just
All right.
all we're really saying is that it feels like this guy went to the Star Wipe, film school. You know what I
He
mean?
was
Yeah, I think something else to consider is that also at this time, think about who else was like hitting big. There was a huge like B movie like rumbling underneath every all the studio movies. Jim Jarmusch
Yes.
is like doing all these like things with like these ensemble casts. There's another film that Turturro was in called The Search for One-Eyed Jimmy. That's also just like this crazy rambling movie, but it's fun to watch, but it's also like, what the hell?
Right.
And there was this current of these of this kind of
And I
thing
think it all
happening.
goes back to what I said, that a lot of these movies were created during coke-fueled Hamptons parties.
I don't
Okay,
disagree with you on that.
And that's the issue. I mean, look, I kind of dig some of Jarmusch's stuff, but even that gets a little rambling. But this shouldn't
I
be
agree,
compared
yeah.
to his stuff. Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
let's get on with the fucking movie
All
itself.
right, let's go to minute number 2.
All right, so for some reason we get these weird interstitial like scenes of a movie that doesn't exist because they're trying to sell this the whole time, but it's parts of the book. So we get Daniel jumping off a waterfall, which leads to absolutely nothing because the past is pointless.
Right.
So all these scenes with Daniel, like, hunting and foraging in the forest and everything, there's a bit of like Wes Anderson-ness that's happening before Wes Anderson
That's
even
true.
happened.
That's a good point.
Like Daniel finds himself, whatever the scene is, and it's a setup for something that is giving context to the book. Again, think about this. This is at the dawn of the self-help, like
Craze.
yeah,
it's
Tony
thing.
Robbins
This-
and
this-
the whole
this-
yeah.
everything was exploding at this point, and people were serving up to lemmings just like, the past doesn't matter. And their lives are changed and everything. So here you have this hapless schmuck, Griffin Dunn, who is lost, and here's a guy who's just throwing just schmutz covered softballs at this guy, and he's taking them.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So there's a setup that you're kind of being served what he's getting.
No, that definitely tracks, man. And this guy and pretty much every actor in this movie, I like the performances. Like they're
good performances. They're just the movie itself sucks. The plot, the plot is terrible. So we start off now in an office in Florida, and I got this clip I'm gonna play of
So
Martin
good.
of Martin
So
here.
good.
I added a little more to it because it's just a good clip to play through. But here we go.
Yes.
I hate fear. Hate it. Fear that stops you from realizing yourself. Yourself. What you are. What you know you could be. Because of that fear? No. And this isn't, hey, make me king, or why can't I have a Lamborghini? Because people, that's not an ambition. They don't know anything. They waste their energies on what? It's foolish. Have a purpose. A simple purpose. Because I will die one day. So let me leave something behind. Something good. Something lasting. Something of myself. Let them know I was here. Let them know I was here. Let them know.
Okay. So
Wait,
You owe the state of Florida $147,956.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's exclusive of interest and penalties.
I'm trying to explain my intentions here.
You failed to file or you substantially underpaid your corporate taxes for the last 6 fiscal quarters. That is, as Merkheim Enterprises Incorporated, doing business variously as StarTime Booking, Big Top Tours, and the Southern Skating Spectacular.
I understand your position.
You claim payment of $22,000 to a Lauren Merkheim as a non-exclusive consultant to your firm.
Hello, here she is. This is Lauren. This is my wife.
I happen to have a business degree from Northwestern.
We are interested in seeing your records. We are interested in your corporation's income for the last year and the year before that. We are very interested in determining
What's your point? Please.
You owe the state of Florida $147,956. That's exclusive of interest and penalties. If you do not pay, the state of Florida is empowered to place a lien on all your holdings, both real and intangible, and to initiate criminal proceedings.
Being his wife, I'm prejudiced, but Martin tends to overreach sometimes. He has his eye on the horizon.
It's outside my main focus, taxes.
Your main focus,
The area of my concern.
which is
You tell him?
Well, he's been telling you.
you're frightened of dying. Was that it?
No. Look, whatever my debts are, I'll honor them. I give you my word, all right? Now, all I ask, and this is a simple request, okay? Not to be bullied, not to be threatened.
He doesn't respond well to threats.
I'm speaking to you openly because I believe there's a better way to be. So when I tell you that I'm trying to achieve something and don't have time to attend to every little...
You owe us, Mr. Merkheim. You owe us, and it's time to pay. This office will be in touch with you shortly. You may find the services of a lawyer useful.
Okay. So I had to play this entire clip because the past is pointless and none of this will ever come up again in this fucking movie.
But that's the whole reason, because he's like, I'm buried. I got nowhere to go on. This is the perfect example of people that exist in life that are totally delusional and believe so much in themselves that they can't come to coping. They can't cope with reality. I had a roommate who was the same, watching my roommate. He had pictures of these CEOs and pictures of Lamborghinis and Ferraris and stuff, and he's just like, that is who I am. I just am not there yet. And he would talk like this guy, and I was like, what the hell are you? What's wrong with you?
I need to bring up a name before we move on, and that name is Elmer Bernstein, because this movie owes that man an apology for straight up just taking the Ghostbusters score and playing it over the entirety of the hour and a half of this movie. It made me mad the first time I saw it, and it made me mad now.
Todd, Eric is the biggest Ghostbusters
It's so
fan.
perfect for this movie.
What makes me mad is they literally just set up a plot for this fucking movie and then they never go back to it.
But the whole movie is him getting out from under this thing, this weight.
No, it's him like being fucking crazy about a book.
No, but the book is the thing that's making him delusional about it. That's the whole thing. So you have two contexts. All right, you have a guy in the middle who's a completely delusional. I said it before. He's a schmuck, completely delusional schmuck. But he is in this position. He's got this newfound I'm empowered by this book, this crazy book, and I'm also under the boot of the IRS. And the only way for me to get out this is to somehow
make a movie
make
about
this movie
book
out about
that's
this
not
book
gonna sell
because
anything because it's a piece of shit.
that he believes in so much. And the whole, everybody in that era is like, everybody was a producer, everybody's making movies, so it's totally plausible. That's how people are like, how I'm going to get out from under this debt? By creating a shitload more debt.
Right.
But it's all in the guise of something that people love and that people are going to find fantastic because I'm
It was
fantastic.
his means to an end.
Okay?
Yeah. On a non-realistic level.
Yes. And just the fact that you see this guy giving this little speech, and the thing that's interesting about it is that while he's trying to convince somebody, you can see him trying to convince himself at the same time, constantly reminding him, like there's another him behind him saying, affirming what he's saying. No, it's not small. You're bigger than this. Yes, I'm bigger than this. It's bizarre, and totally real. That you might have somebody who's, while trying to convince somebody else, they're still trying to convince themselves. Then to be like we said, we don't know what's going on in this movie still yet at this point. Granted, it's only 5 minutes in.
We're never going to
then
know what's going on in this movie.
The camera spins and you see Martin Scorsese, one of the biggest personalities on the entire planet, completely shove aside everything he said with all this passion and conviction. He says, "You owe the state of Florida." Something so deadpanned. God, it was brilliant.
Yeah,
I think it's so brilliant.
I have no problem with the acting in this movie at all. That's definitely not part of the problem. But so from the office of the IRS agent, they now go to their home, and Lauren and Martin are now arguing about this money he owes. She's mad, and he just tries to bullshit her, but she's used to it, so she's not gonna go for it. So he's like, "I'm down on my knees." He wants to go to her brother's party, which I don't understand why he wouldn't have just been going to this anyways if they're together, but whatever. She thinks that he's going to ask for money from her brother. He says he's not going to. He starts rubbing on her, and then she gets mad and reminds him that he's trying to be celibate because it's in the book.
But I need to take a quick step back here because this is one of those art school movie project moments. Before he starts to feel her up, she's feeling herself up for no fucking reason whatsoever. Okay,
she's teasing him.
Well, all right. So then, I love.
He's more mad that she's not.
I love Rosanna Arquette, but she didn't do a good job of conveying that to me, Todd. I'm just saying. It was just. It's not even that. I just think it was the way it was cut. So again, it just goes back to my point. Like the previous scene.
It was a messy cut.
And
it was a very messy cut.
Those are my biggest issues with this film, more so than Eric and Joe. Like that first scene by itself is a very cool scene. I can tell that Griffin Dunne, having starred in the play, okay, that's a scene from the play because his emotions were sincere and real, and the way you described what he was going through makes complete sense to me because he did that play for 5-6 months, however long it was. So he knew that dialogue inside and out. When we get to scenes that were not in the play, he goes off the rails. And we can talk about them when we hit those scenes. But he goes off the rails in his acting. Yeah. And he doesn't act like the same person who is in this scene, doing it well. And that's one of the things that gets to me sometimes. And again,
fair point.
Her feeling herself up there, and it really wasn't even that because, again, that's the director's fault. That's not the writing. That's not the acting.
Yes.
That's just poor directing, and that's my issue. The inconsistencies. You got an hour and 25-minute movie, and the inconsistencies make it like a 3-hour movie, in essence, in my head. So, all right, go ahead, Joe. Sorry. There you go. Rant over.
Totally fair point.
All right, so he's mad at her because she isn't reading this book that he thinks is the fucking best thing that ever existed.
Mm-hmm.
And then she gets mad at him because he's been running around for 5 years trying to start a business and nothing seems to be working. He doesn't think that he has done anything because he doesn't care about anything.
Mm-hmm.
She's talking about things that he bought, like, a condo and this and that. And he's like, well, what about my deeds? Like, the deeds I'm going to be remembered for. She's like, well, what about me? You had me. And then,
right.
It kind of ends in that.
It's kind of like when you run across somebody who either just joined CrossFit or
religion.
got, say religion or something. Yeah. And they're just like, it's literally like they're wearing a whole new skin.
Yep.
Yeah. Or someone who watched a TV show for the first time that people have known about for years, and they're like, "Oh shit, I just binged the show. You should really watch this." And they keep telling you over and over, and you're like, "I'm not gonna fucking watch this show."
Yeah.
How do you know? How do you know someone digs CrossFit? Because they never shut the fuck up about CrossFit. That's
They'll
exactly.
tell you about it.
Yeah. We cut back to another interstitial thing where Daniel Strong is now running through the forest of doubt.
So good.
And it's literally a dude running through a forest, and then he is this the part where he guts the rabbit?
No, that's later.
No,
on.
I think that's a little farther off when things are going bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
for Griffin Dunn.
So then now we're at this party that they broadcasted about earlier in the show that he's not there, and he's over talking to her brother. At which point, right in the middle of that, a woman runs over and says there's some guy doing cocaine in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Now this is if they're South Florida, that's pretty possible this is happening.
Yeah, that's not only possible, that's
yes,
for sure
100%.
happening. What are you talking?
In 1995, yes.
As a South Floridian myself, I 100%
That was happening everywhere.
Yeah.
He says that the guy used to have a problem, and he thinks somebody at the party must have gave him the coke because he wouldn't have had it himself. Martin asks if he's read this book, which of course this dude hasn't read this book because no one's fucking read this book, but 10 people. Even Waxling's like, "What are you talking about?" "Oh, that's my book."
You read this?
And he starts describing this book in the most creepy way fucking ever. He's just going on and on about it. No one seems to give a fuck. But eventually he does kind of ask the brother to help him buy the rights to the movie. That way he can write the rights to the book so he can make a movie about it. And then as he's doing this, you see Christopher Walken, also known as Kim in this movie, standing over to the side, watching him get kind of turned down at the moment. And the brother is like, "What are you trying to get money?" He goes, "No, I don't want money. He wants context." And then the brother kind of just leaves. And Martin, disappointed, walks out on the balcony kind of pissed off. And
I love this.
We get another clip coming up here where Martin meets Kim. And this is when you run into that guy who has the same interests as you of something that no one else gives a fuck about? That's kind of what this is.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go.
People waste time.
Pardon?
They waste time. They start arguments, make excuses. Factors arise, moments pass. You sit in the car and wonder where you're going. Why you have to get there. You smoke?
No.
Me too. Evenings like this, huh? Get in the Mediterranean.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm Martin Merkheim.
Kim.
You're not a friend of Rob's?
No.
I didn't think so.
You in business, Mom?
Well, yes.
I say this. Bless the businessman. They are the agents of our hope.
And yourself, are you in business?
On occasion. Freelance capacity, and I do market analysis, mostly based in New York. I've read that,
Daniel Strong? You're kidding.
No. It had a powerful effect on me.
Really?
That scene on the mountaintop.
Where he's all alone, and he's lost and starving?
The sun begins to rise.
The city is stretched out below.
He remembers the day he killed his father. He hears a voice.
His own voice. It's his own voice inside his head. And it says,
there was nothing to be forgiven.
And anything possible is possible.
It's the best book. When you're 19.
I'm gonna make a movie of it.
I overheard. That's a superb idea.
You're not in the film.
No, I'm sorry. Don't apologize. Don't have to do that.
Right.
I'm really sorry.
So,
I love it.
the first thing that's actually the most interesting thing of this whole scene is the song playing in the background. That makes me think of Bad Santa every time I hear it.
Wow.
This is also, you got to remember in context when we think of Christopher Walken now, he's played so many fun and crazy characters, and maybe not fun is the right word, but just sort of whimsical, dark and crazy characters since this movie.
Yes.
Up to this point, he was in like really heavy shit. Like
Yeah.
Deer Hunter.
Yep.
And what was the Stephen King one?
The Shining.
Anyways.
No, not The Shining.
No,
What is it? Damn.
Yeah, it's the one where he senses things are going to be bad, and they really are. Anyways, so he was, up to this point, he was this like emerging character. He just kind of had this dark edge to him, and it was just like almost not, it just isn't
right.
like
Zone.
everybody else. And this is the first time, Dead Zone. Yeah.
Zone.
Gosh,
Yes.
what a great movie. This is the first time, one of the first times that we are seeing Christopher Walken in a cast as a somewhat comical antagonist.
Yeah. All right. That makes sense. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So at this point now, they've just shared their mutual love of this book, and they're finishing each other's sentences.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the brother comes out and asks Kim to leave the party because they think he's a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kim gives Martin his card and tells him if he's ever in New York to come see him. Martin says he's going to go do the movie himself. We cut back to Martin sitting alone watching Waxling's show. He's really getting into the motivation parts about changing his life because he doesn't feel like it started and the clock is ticking.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me like when they're talking about the book, it's not unlike when people say or start talking about like they're sharing stories or quotes about like Ayn Rand,
Oh yeah.
Atlas Shrugged or
Yeah.
any
Hey, how do
any
you
of
know?
the Ayn Rand
How do you know
stuff.
somebody digs Ayn Rand? Because they don't shut the fuck up about Ayn Rand.
Yeah, exactly. That is a thing in our culture that people can immediately flashpoint on and say, okay, I get something about you right there.
Yeah. So Martin decides he's going to go to Dallas and go visit Wexling's studio. He walks in and sees Marie sitting at a desk, and Martin asks her to go see Dr. Wexling, and Marie asks if he wants to see the doctor, or asks why he wants to see the doctor. And at that point, we get another clip, because there's so much like monologuing in this movie, and like I said, as far as the acting goes, the acting's excellent. I'm not even gonna like pretend to like act like the acting isn't great and the speaking parts aren't great. It's just this plot. This fucking plot. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll another clip here where Martin meets Roger.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Roger.
Yes, all right.
You want to see Dr. Waxling?
That's correct.
That's not possible.
Why?
Because he's busy. Perhaps I can help you.
It's a personal matter.
Of what nature?
Of a personal nature.
Well, getting personal is what we're all about here. But what you should know is that Dr. Waxling requests that applicants first complete the mastery sessions before any kind of consultation can take place. Now, what I can do is set up...
Who are you?
Excuse me? Who are you? I'm Roger. Dr. Waxling's personal assistant.
Roger, okay. I'm not here for that. Would you please tell him that Martin Merkheim is here to see him? I am president of Merkheim Enterprises Incorporated. I have flown here directly from Florida. I have some very important business to discuss with him.
And what company would that be, sir?
Merkheim Enterprises is a diversified organization,
I'm
focused
not familiar.
primarily in the field of entertainment. We're a prominent presence in the southeastern states. My company owns several television stations in Florida and Georgia, WKRG there, and we have interest or active in the area of motion picture production, which perhaps you've heard is primed for some explosive growth in the peninsula, with heavy involvement from the major studios.
Yeah, it must be great.
Well, in fact, it is. It's very exciting. And unfortunately, I have a very busy schedule here in Dallas. I'm meeting shortly with some petroleum people. I'm leaving tomorrow. So if Dr. Waxling wishes to meet, it's going to really have to be in the next half hour.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm afraid you're out of luck. Dr. Waxling's taping all day.
Okay. Roger, that's very good. But look,
Sir,
I know you're just doing your job, and that's all.
Sir, I told you. Dr.
But you don't
Waxling-
quite understand that
I do understand. I do. You want to see the doctor.
Right.
And you can't. I will tell him that you came by. You can leave him a note. You can send a fax. But you cannot see him.
Okay. Can I just say that your behavior here
Sir,
today
I should
is
tell you
just-
that this building has an excellent security staff.
And that's a threat now. Now you're threatening. Is that a threat? Are you threatening me?
Enjoy your stay in Dallas.
So basically, he gets shut down. He's trying to sit.
Well, you got the punchline was right after that.
Oh, I was getting ready to restart this back up here because I was going to talk.
Okay,
Because I
good.
was going to let Marie. I have this plot because I have like 4 clips in a row right here, and I wanted to talk a little bit between them, but I'm going to go into Marie and then him going to lunch with her because we got to get her movie pitch in here too because that's classic. But he's trying to get in here to see the doctor because he wants to bullshit him like that he's a movie producer and get the rights to his movie.
Right. You have this person where you can see like this pathological guy
Lying about everything.
who are you? Like this is a guy who's literally nobody.
Yep. Bullshit.
Walking into somewhere where someone is somebody and questioning him,
Yeah.
which is it's just who does
And
that?
Roger is played by Ethan Hawke too, which is another good actor in this movie. But yeah, he's kind of like, there, and the guy's like, "What do you know about viruses?" And he's like, "I'm the best virus person in the world. I know every virus that ever existed. Don't question me on viruses. I got a guy who's the biggest virus expert ever.
I do good viruses.
I do viruses very well." Yeah. So that's kind of like the bullshit level that he portrays in this movie.
It's huge.
It's huge. So I'm gonna let this clip continue on here for a second. We'll meet Marie here, who's the girl working as the assistant here, and I'm gonna let it go all the way through her movie clip because they're gonna go. He's gonna ask her, or she's gonna ask him. I don't remember how the fuck this goes, but somehow they end up going to a restaurant and she explains this movie in detail, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's probably the best part of the whole movie.
Before you kick that off, I think it's worth saying because now you've seen this guy come in and he's like, I've done it, I'm here, this is gonna be great, I'm gonna get the movie, and he's just shut down
instantly.
So hard, and the only thing he can say at that point is, I think the line that's we're about to hear.
How come nobody hears an accent?
I mean, like a Texas accent.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's from everywhere.
Yeah.
Are you a producer?
Pardon?
A movie producer?
Yes. Yes, I am.
What kinds of movies?
Various kinds.
Like slasher stuff?
No. More like people talking ones. Did you see Fried Green Tomatoes?
No.
I was involved with that.
Could I send you one?
Send me what?
One I wrote, a script. I took a class. I mean, why not, right? I have ideas. So, would you mind?
It's Marie, right?
Right.
Listen.
Oh, send it to your whatever. Gotcha.
No, Marie. No, I don't work that way, okay? I don't treat people like that. I would like to hear your script. I just can't right now, okay? I'm leaving tomorrow. I could... No, never mind. I'm sorry, it wouldn't sound...
What?
No, it wouldn't sound right. Send me your script.
What?
Well, I'm free tonight, but...
You want me to come to your hotel?
My hotel? Sure. Yeah, why don't you do that? I'm at the, Omni.
Yeah, it's right by the airport.
Exactly.
Should I bring the script?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the most awkward transaction ever. Like, he obviously because he doesn't care about having sex because he's celibate. But should I bring the script? Yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah, sure. You bring the script.
Yeah.
I just love how nonchalantly he plays that off, even though he's being celibate. He's like he's still completely, like, and should I come to your hotel? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. That's a good idea.
He's completely oblivious to his inadequacies. That's the thing. Even
Oh,
with
yes.
the even how Ethan Hawke's character drags him in the previous scene. Todd, you're right. His line about the accents, that's all he took from that. Because he's completely oblivious.
Yeah.
He's unstoppable in that sense because he's oblivious to the fact that he's
Yes.
being shut down. It's not going to deter him.
Honestly, it's a good thing he's celibate because he's like doesn't get the no means no.
No, exactly, but it's
No.
not a conscious. It's not a conscious decision to ignore no means no. It's under the surface for him. It just doesn't penetrate. I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
Todd, I gotta say,
That's a great
you are-
point. That's
you're-
a great
You're
point.
winning me over a bit, buddy. All right, I still have no.
Whoa.
Listen, I've got my issues, and that's not going to change. But I think my issues stem from structure and directing. So
Here's the thing, man. This is a cool looking house with like a really shoddy foundation so far.
and I'm not disagreeing with that, but I understand. I now, even at this point, completely understand Todd's.
This is like a 1-bedroom, 3-bathroom house.
But I understand Todd's appreciation for this movie. I do. I completely get it. Yeah,
That's
it is.
perfect.
Joe. That was good.
It is, and then just when you think you're really getting sucked into the thing, then you hear the
Exactly.
Oh,
and you go,
Yeah.
oh, here
I'm
it
out.
comes.
Yeah.
He's gonna be stupid again.
Okay, so now we're getting ready to run one of the best parts of this entire movie, and that's her explaining her script.
Oh,
to
wait,
him.
Joe. Before you roll this, I have to correct myself. I was wrong. I looked through the play cast again, and Marie is in the cast. And a cool piece of trivia, on Broadway, she was played by actress Welker White, who we know from Goodfellas. She was Lois the Coke Mule with the hat.
Oh,
She was in the Broadway play. There were
So-
other big.
So the worst person from Goodfellas.
Yeah, exactly. The complete fucking plot unraveler of Goodfellas played. But no, there's a lot of cool people that were in the play besides Griffin Dunn, that recognizable faces and such.
Oh yeah.
Goodfellas again. Once again, going back to me and my wife watching Modern Family. Fucking Ray Liotta was in one of the
Ray
episodes.
Liotta's a rock star.
He was playing Ray Liotta, and he was old and lonely, so he took the redhead guy to go meet Barbara Streisand.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
But Barbara Streisand wouldn't let him in the
Of
gate.
course not.
She's like, just stay outside.
Hey Joe, real quick. Pretend it's 1995, and you just handed me the script. I'm Christopher Walken, and you just handed me the script for this movie. Okay.
Okay. Let me get a
Okay.
picture.
Wow.
I will not take no for an answer. You're gonna make this movie.
Oh, that's all I had. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's it. I was gonna be like, you see, I carried the script
God.
in a very uncomfortable place to bring
Bad
it
New
to
York
you
accent.
because that's why it's so
Todd,
shitty.
Joe's New York accent is the fucking worst. Okay.
That was Christopher Walken.
That was even worse than a New York accent, please.
Well,
My
you
head.
see, I had this script in a very uncomfortable place.
No, you sound like Long Island
Oh,
Dracula.
Lugosi.
Thank you, Eric. Yes.
I came here
Blah,
to
blah, blah.
sucker
If
movie.
your
You know?
life depended on doing a Christopher Walken,
blah,
Joe,
blah.
you'd be dead.
Blah blah blah. Forget about it.
I'm like What We Do in the Shadows, Staten Island vampires.
Oh, I can't wait till that comes back. Anyway,
God, I love that show.
yeah. So, but yes, please. move
Next
on.
scene.
All right, so here we go.
Set the stage. It's a small town in Connecticut. Everybody is dead all over except our heroine. She's caught. The spine sucker, he's got her pinned against the wall. Okay, now with this other hand, he cracks open Greg's head. Greg, that's her boyfriend. And he smears his brains, all over her breasts. The elevator is stuck. She can't get away. This thing, it comes out of him like a gangrene penis, with a lobster claw. And it starts to burrow into her. The pain, it's unbearable. But she manages to reach the switch on the radial saw, and she rips it into him, okay? But he just smiles at her, okay? He just laughs at her because his stomach opens up and he absorbs it. Like he absorbs things, okay? And he goes on like clawing into her, okay? So now she's covered with blood. And there's like an overhead shot, right? She starts to like slide down the wall like Tippi Hedren in The Birds. And she's gonna die. That's all. Except that inside of him, that radial saw, it's still going, okay? It's still like spinning around inside of him. So all of a sudden, he starts shaking, okay? The saw rips out of his chest. There's this explosion of like meat and pus and guts, it just like pours out of him, like a fire hose. But that spine sucker, he just like climbs on top of her, okay? Tries to shove that penis claw right down her throat, okay? But she gets that radial saw, man, and she just hacks it off. She just hacks that penis claw right off, He falls onto this metal spike. It goes straight through his face. Close shot. His brains spurt out, okay? Like water from a fountain. And they just go up and slide down and go up and slide down. And they come up and they slide in the water. He's dead. He's dead. He is finally fucking dead. And we cut to her. And there's a crane shot. Or at least I hope there's a crane shot. And she walks away. And that's the end.
Her enthusiasm.
Or at least I hope there's a crane shot.
Like,
yeah, I'm just like, and the way he's looking at her the entire time while she's telling this, is how I'm looking at this movie while I'm watching it.
Yeah,
like
it's one thing I love about this, and like I got to be honest, the first time I saw it, this particular part I liked the least in the whole movie because I hate those kind of movies. And at the time, that is what was just like running rampant through Hollywood. Okay? And with like success that doesn't make sense based on what these movies, they just kept getting more and more and more ridiculous. And here you have a guy who's like this altruistic, like he's got this vision. And he's got like, no, my dream has purpose and it has greatness and it has vision. And she's like, they're completely opposite in what they are searching for.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
honestly, I'd rather watch.
And they both can't see each other's side.
I will say, as a horror fan, I appreciate the absolute glee with which she presents her pitch, man. Like,
yeah, I really love her kind of like just enthusiasm over this.
Yeah, like it's coming from a place of passion.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah,
and again,
crane shot. At least
I hope there's a
shot.
crane shot. And it again, the acting is just spectacular in the scene. I mean, she does a terrific job, and that's a lot of dialogue to. I mean, this is a single take of just someone saying a lot of sentences. So,
but they're also in a nice restaurant. Yeah. That's the other weird thing is like she's talking about penis claws and like brains spurting out all over the place, and that's the other weird thing. It's like she also kind of doesn't have. They both are lacking filter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they're both lacking a self-awareness that's arresting.
Absolutely. I completely agree.
Yeah, he like tells her that he's interested in changing people's lives, and she like tries to be like, well, the girl's life has changed. She goes, no, I'm at the audience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, the girl's life has definitely changed.
Yeah. So I got another really quick one here, just because I don't know why this scene like made me laugh so hard, because I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? But let me play this real quick.
Did you say something?
No, but I.
Sorry, I'm deaf in this ear. I got run over when I was a kid. My father, actually, it was my father ran me over. He didn't see me. I was in the driveway. It was autumn under all these leaves, and he just backed up right over me. I was in a coma. I broke everything. Just here and here and here.
What the fuck is going on in this movie?
See, this is where the movie started to feel to me like I was being trolled. Like,
Yeah, I'm like,
this is
she
just a
clearly
series.
was
was
not
a
run
weird
over, because
part.
first of all, she's not dead. Second of all, she's
That was a
zero
weird part.
scars.
It's just like these
Yeah.
these excessive, strange monologues, like one after the other, that are seemingly unrelated. And again, I felt like I was watching auditions for a play.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, what the
All right.
hell is going on in this fucking movie?
I broke all this stuff, but the only thing is wrong is
Yeah.
I'm deaf in this ear.
Yeah, I'm deaf because like everything broke and I got run over by this car, and like,
Well-
what is wrong with you?
And see, but that's the beauty of it. If she just would have said, I'm deaf in this ear, no big deal. But it's this preposterous thing. Like, we're going like, wait a minute. And how is that? You got run over and all this stuff happened, but you're like, you couldn't hear what he said. And so now we have this. That's the reason that I love that, is because they're like,
Well,
it's this totally ridiculous story behind it.
I guess the past is pointless because she overheard his conversation from across the room about being a movie producer.
Well,
Yeah.
guys, we're in the Hamptons. It's 1995. We've got about 30 minutes of this movie written, but I got the best idea. All right, this is the best idea ever, guys. All right, she's going to tell a story about how she got ran over and broke everything, and she's deaf, and that's why she's deaf. And we're going to put this in a movie, and it's going to make the movie the best movie ever. That's what happened making this movie, okay? Because someone was too high on coke.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So some reason now they're in an airport hangar. I don't fucking understand why they're in an airport hangar running around.
Well, I think
She's, like,
that's
dancing
Waxland's
around
jet.
and
So,
running.
you know, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
But why would they go there?
Because it worked into the
movie.
shoot schedule. All right, it was at night, and it was cheap. Okay.
I guess.
Yeah, that's what we call production
Exactly.
Yes.
value. You got some planes.
Yes.
You got,
Yeah.
you know.
So she tells him that she's been working for the doctor for about 2 months now, and that Roger's there to protect the doctor. And then she asks why he lies.
I thank
So I'm
you
gonna play
because
this quick
this is
scene
my
of
favorite
this
dialogue
also.
in the whole movie.
Yeah, I gotta keep
Yeah.
playing these things because like it's just good.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How come you lie so much?
What?
You lie a lot.
How do you mean?
Oh, this afternoon in the theater, boy, you said some stuff to Roger. It sounded kind of stupid. I mean, the stuff about the movies and everything. I just kind of wonder about that, because the movies, that's California. We're in Dallas. You're talking to me. I'm not anybody. It feels like an awful lot of lying in the time I've known you, which isn't very long.
Does that bother you?
It might. I lie. I don't do it right, though. I always lie at the end when I'm scared and I don't get anything. You're lying at the beginning.
I absolutely love that
So
conversation.
great.
I even have it in my notes.
Ugh.
I dug the liar conversation. Absolutely dig that.
Yeah. It's just you listen to that and you're like, okay, damn, that's one of those things where I say that's really good to call somebody out, because we're all thinking it. We're like, holy, this guy freaking can't stop lying, and she also doesn't have a filter, because most
Right.
people won't do that. So you have these two people that are filterless and somehow, thrown together
Yeah,
because the movie. Yeah.
No, I definitely
Yeah,
dug that.
I mean,
I did not dig it.
can you dig it?
No.
So, she says she can get him a backstage pass for the show, but don't mention that it's from her. You can tell there's a little bit of chemistry between the two of them, but he's taking a vow of celibacy.
Yeah.
She tells him to be quiet, to stop talking. Then she starts like touching him and tells him says she wants to tell him a secret. To close your eyes and be quiet. And like, what do you hear? Absolutely nothing. Then we get another Daniel Strong cutaway, and there's for some reason a completely naked chick.
Yeah. We get a random bit of
Yeah.
full frontal nudity.
Very
Oh, yeah.
attractive.
Kind of European style too.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's probably one of the more interesting
Yes.
visuals of this movie. But
I did like when she does say, "Stop talking."
Yeah.
so just shut
Again,
up.
it's arrestingly
I like that as well. I agree.
honest. And I think that's one of the things, like when we watch people, we're watching, in movies, you see people act. Yeah. It's like we're not used to people saying what's really on their mind.
Yeah. Unless you're like talking to me, and then you get the brutally honest truth all the time.
Regardless.
Because I have no filter.
No, Joe is filterless.
Yeah, regardless. Todd doesn't know what regardless means, but back when Doug was listening to Just Surprise Me, he called me out on my bullshit. Like, whenever I'm wrong about something, I just keep going on about it more and more and more, and I say regardless. Because regardless means I'm wrong, but yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
just
no,
glad you
no,
didn't say
I would've-
irregardless, because then I would have
smacked
said
him.
that.
Yeah, no, I'm always like, people are, I'll go on in some fucking tangent, and then someone will correct me, and I'll be like,
Yeah.
regardless.
So
Yeah. Having said that, I say that on the show all the
Oh, it's the
time.
best. Because it takes all the power away back.
This is a very tasty thing. Having said that,
Exactly.
it's really awful.
exactly.
So we go down to the front desk of the hotel where he's checking out, and the guy brings up he has a double room, even though he says he's by himself. The guy's like, "Yeah, we got you. Like, we saw you bring a chick up in there," which I didn't realize there was a difference, like in room prices if you have two people staying there versus one. I thought it
Depends on the hotel, but that is a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it was always more people back then.
Oh, okay. He wants to put it on his credit card. Of course, the card's declined, so he pays cash. Somehow he just magically has a bunch of cash. I don't understand. Well, this scene's even fucking important, I guess, unless maybe just to know that she stayed with him.
That particular scene, it again, he's like running his card and he's making up excuses. That's what I got from it. Is like he's in another situation where he's in normal people would be shrinking,
Todd,
and he just isn't, because he just is not
Todd,
self-aware.
Yeah.
And somehow it's this other person's fault for all
Todd?
this stuff.
Stop. We lost Joe.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Doug lost. We lost Doug.
Yeah, we lost Joe, which means
He'll be back.
he's got to provide a
I
new
knew he was
session
gonna
for
do
us.
it.
So
We can keep
either his
going,
internet
though,
went out or
'cause,
something.
he's not missing much. At this point.
So
Yes?
let's just
So,
sit tight till
we
he
go to-
chimes in with a
to
Facebook
Waxling's-
Messenger.
or Waxling.
Yeah,
Why-
I can
You
hear
guys can hear me
Oh,
though,
yeah, everyone
right?
else is
I don't
good.
know about.
This-
I mean, I see
Doug
Eric.
does this
Eric, you there?
This is kind of Doug's thing. He gets drunk on box wine and drops out.
Yeah, this. We might be
So
switching.
we go to Waxling, who for some reason I keep
Yeah,
wanting to call it Wexling.
hosting,
I don't know
'cause
why.
this is-
I
it's
can't
gotten
fucking
out of
figure out
hand
if it's
the last few
Wexling or
years.
Waxling
Really
this
has.
entire time, but I think it's Waxling.
Yeah, I don't. I see Eric, but I don't hear him. but
Martin's
Joe's
like now
completely
tied
gone.
up and
So
being
again, this
interrogated
has happened.
by
So we
a
just need to
security
wait
guard, and then Roger.
for him to acknowledge that he's gone.
Martin's just like
and
quoting shit from the book the whole time.
We can pick
too.
up where we
Like,
left off.
Yes.
It's not a problem. He'll
he says
edit
he
it
has
together.
a pass, and then Roger like says, "Yeah, it's got Marie's handwriting all over it." And now at this point, Waxling walks out as Martin's trying to bullshit
unless
like Roger again.
Florida blew up. I don't know.
Roger starts
That's why we
reading
lost
off
Eric.
all the fucking
I know,
like
we lost
shit
Roger.
about him. You know, you're this and you're this and you're this and you're this.
Mm-hmm.
And then Martin's like, "Are you threatening me?" Because for some reason, like that's his go-to. Like, "Oh, so you're threatening me, huh?" At this point, Waxling comes out, and then Martin like immediately flips the switch and just starts kissing his ass as much as he can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's really weird when that, like in the movie you see that, and he completely loses his sort of shell of dissolution.
Yeah, exactly. He Waxling like is pissed off and just asks like,
Eric,
"Are
you
you
there?
fucking my woman?" And of course, you know, he's like no, but Waxling's like, okay, Roger, then just re-ask the question again. And then Roger fucking says it again as Waxling hits Martin as hard as he can.
Yeah.
And Waxling says he hates two things: people who lie and people who fuck his women. Martin says he isn't lying, of course, which we all know that he's not lying because that's not really what he's into, apparently. Maybe if Waxling had read his own book.
True.
So Waxling says that, you know, she has a low self-image and she's easily manipulated, which is kind of fucked up.
Well, this is also, we're seeing Waxling, who is, I think, this was like a tiny peek behind the curtain. So all the, you know, the self-help people and evangelists and everything, you know, they portray this sense of self and the sense of wisdom and the sense of they've got control and they're upstanding, you know, forthright people. And here's a guy who's like selling this stuff and he's conviction when he looks at the camera, and then he's like, "Are you fucking my woman?"
Yeah.
You know, like,
Oh yeah.
what?
It's very much like the, you know, the wizard behind the curtain. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, he's just kind of a douchebag. Like, but again, he's been built up in this guy's mind as almost a deity. You know,
Oh, yeah.
for his knowledge and for, you know, writing this book. And yeah, to see the facade fall off is interesting. And you know, just to play with that. And like I said, these are the nuggets in this movie that I do appreciate. Like I don't hate everything about what's happening here. There are some there are some nice little philosophical nuggets here to be had, and this is one of them, man. Like, this was a cool thing to explore, especially for this character.
Yeah. So Waxling tells Martin that Marie tells him everything, and then Martin like says, yes, she slept with her, but there was no sex. Like, literally just slept together. He was like trying to test himself, like Daniel Strong. And Waxling's like, you read that?
Yeah. Yes. And that is where I mean, we're almost saying, yes,
Well-
we read it. Like, because up to this point,
Yeah.
we're starting to believe it too. You know, and we're seeing the scenes of Daniel Strong. And this is now becoming a very tangible thing.
Yeah.
And then it's shattered like immediately. You read this?
Martin tells him that he wants to like discuss business because he wants to make his book into a movie. He wants to help him make a whole bunch of money. Literally rip the pages out of your book and put them on the screen.
Yeah. I love how he also says, I have a business purpose. I have, you know, and he's like, you can see him start to wind his own gears back up, you know, and say, I've got a very something, it's special. I can't, and you know what, can I talk to you over here about it? Because I can't tell you this in front of these other people, this one other people.
Yeah.
It's just you and me. We need to talk about how special this is. It's like,
Then Waxling gets him aside in this little side room and tells him like, well, $500,000 and it's yours. Martin's like, that's a
Yeah.
little bit more steep. You need to be more realistic.
But Joe, let's not forget the transition between that scene and this scene was an inexplicable weird freeze frame.
Oh,
What?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's
With like
one of my beefs.
a backdrop.
Yeah.
Yeah, this backdrop falls, and it almost felt like maybe this backdrop really fell, like it wasn't planned, and the actors got scared, and they thought, you know what, this was fun. Let's just pause it here for a moment to reflect on how, you know, serendipitous this was, and we'll just move on.
yeah.
I can see
I think
that.
you're being too nice.
Maybe. Maybe.
Martin tries to like bullshit him, like, I'll give you a couple $1,000s right now, and then wait for the money to come in. Waxling like starts realizing that this dude doesn't have shit. He's like, give me your wallet.
Yeah.
He opens the wallet and is unimpressed, and Martin's like, well, I don't keep my money there.
Where's the money, man? Where's the money, man?
Give us the money, Lebowski.
Waxling called him. He called him a guy in a suit who shags his receptionist and then wants to sit up at the grown-ups table talking movie deals.
Yeah.
Get money.
Yeah.
Oh God, that guy's a douche.
I can't. Can you imagine anybody else playing that part though?
No.
Because he had to do so, like, the range that Hopper had to do here. Like, it was. I thought, yeah. I mean, we've talked about like the acting in this is very.
The acting is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not in question.
Yep.
You believe that there is there is a very shallow, almost sinister, but not quite sinister, just a ne'er-do-well behind this guy, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I also appreciate that up until this point, every character that he encounters sees through him in some way or another, whether it's his wife or Marie, or, I mean, it just, even Kim in his own way sort of sees through his bravado for what it is. So
Yeah, definitely.
But that's also endearing. That's for some reason, you know, half of these people at least find that you're like, well, actually, it's an endearing
because he's undeterred
quality
by it.
sometimes
He's
in
completely
people.
undeterred by it.
Yeah.
Yep. So we go to an airport, and he's trying to get a ticket to Miami, which is $748.19.
Yes.
He tries to talk it down, but then he eventually just leaves the airport. Goes and meets up with Marie, who had got fired. She says, or he asked her about Waxling and her. She said she was into it at first. She said, have you ever had the feeling your body's being operated at a distance by somebody else? At which point he asked if that's what he did, and she goes, no. Like, because nothing could fucking just make sense in this movie.
But to me that was that throwback to, you know, when Walken goes, you smoke. No, me too.
Exactly. Like, what the fuck is going on?
I love that line.
Martin says he's going back to Florida, but he needs, and then he just like breaks down and says, no, he's lost. She then now finally realizes he's not a movie producer. But maybe he is, because he is what he says he is.
Yeah.
He asks if
She's got nothing to lose at this point either. Neither one of them do.
He asks if she believes in anything. She says no. She says believing in things is embarrassing because you're different. He believes in himself. He believes in his power to affect things. Talking about his best friend, Kim.
Yeah,
his new best friend who we had a conversation for 10 minutes
Not
with.
even. It was literally like 45 seconds.
But he's got his business card, so it's all good.
Yep. She says go to New York, and then he realizes that's what he should do. She's about to like just walk away, and he asks her to go with him and be his assistant. But he can't pay her.
Yeah.
Can't buy a plane ticket, and he's not even like slightly embarrassed about any of this.
She even says that. You're not even embarrassed, are you?
He's like, nope.
I'm pretty sure she says something along those
He
lines.
says things need to change because his plane had a non-standard touchdown. Which isn't a crash, apparently. It's just when the landing gear went open, so they spray the runway with foam. He tried not to be afraid, but he couldn't. The fear would just come with him. And she says it is a crash, and then he says that she has a cousin in New York that can stay with that won't cost anything. It cuts to a scene of like Waxling's place with him sleeping. I can't tell if this is back in the studio or if this is like actually his place. And she breaks in and steals her typewriter back, but she wakes him up, of course, because she's not very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get this weird ass like train montage. Because we needed a montage at this point.
You mean to tell me this movie has another weird montage in
It's
it?
almost like a film noir montages kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just kept imagining hearing train kept rolling on in the background. All of a sudden, they show up at there's an apartment in New York, and there's a lady painting crazily, and Martin gets introduced and literally just asks, "Is there a telephone here?" Like within 1 second, doesn't even say like "Hi" or "How are you doing" or "Thank you for letting me come here." It's just like, "Where's your telephone at, bitch?"
Well, he's very important. He's a movie producer. He's very important. Got things to do.
Yep. So he calls Kim, and then we get this voiceover from Waxline about don't help a man. The best thing you can do is kick him really hard in the head. His stomach, his groin. The harder, the better. Wake up. We're lazy, afraid to change, and addicted to pain. Which he's watching it with Marie and the other girl, which after this guy's been such a dick to all of them, like, why are they watching him?
It's the power of persuasion, man. And that's, if you think about it, the best thing what he says, the best thing you can do for somebody is kick him in the head.
Well,
it's like he did that, and they're like, yeah, this is great.
This
Do
movie
it
kicked me
again.
in the head and the groin and the stomach really fucking hard.
This is another thing I don't like about this movie is that you can make anything in it sound self-important, and it's probably not. It's like Doug said, it's just a coke-fueled,
Let me go back to number 3. Just because it happened to you doesn't make it interesting.
It's like I could go on and say, look, Joe, what he's trying to do here is illustrate the danger of the power of belief, and no, he's not.
Yeah.
He's
See,
not.
what he's trying to do is that what he's actually doing is making me get more and more irritated.
Well, then I like this. I
So
like this
Kim
movie
is,
more. If it's making you irritated, I actually might like this movie more.
There you go. So Kim's in his office looking at a picture. Martin walks in and they greet each other. Martin talks about traveling and talks about painting.
It's worth mentioning, though, that this isn't the sort of the Christopher Walken with the kind of fluffy, strange, kind of almost goofy smile guy. I mean, he's got ink black
Slicked
hair
back.
that's slicked back in like a double-breasted suit. I mean, he's
Business.
he almost looks like really terrifying looking because he's so sleek.
Yeah, I can see that.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Wow.
No, he really does. He is intense in this movie, in a very Walken-y way.
Yeah. Well, this is when he really starts coming into, if we take a side shoot out to Walken, everything up until this point, he's been playing characters. This is like one of the first times that we almost see him playing himself.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what if Walken did this? What would it be like? He's Walkenizing already, with the whispers.
Yeah, and a lot of this,
and the crack and the voice crack.
a lot of the Walken stuff here too is just him staring at this guy who's talking for 6 straight minutes, per scene.
Yeah.
And I mean that does a lot of character work. It's like I'm really listening.
His face, what his face is doing when he's listening to Griffin Dunne, this hapless, completely delusional, borderline, utterly naive person. I mean, it's almost like he's got a new puppy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or a new baby, and he's watching this
Absolutely.
thing and with delight. Almost like a shark and a seal. Just like, hey, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
No, that's true.
Yeah. So he gets back on the book again, all the bullshit. So we're talking about Daniel Strong and how he's staying with some girl and she's an artist. Kim asks about business, and Martin brings up his Florida conversation about the book. Martin says he met with Waxline and starts to lie about it. And then I'm going to play this little scene real quick because he kind of flips out.
Okay, fine. Look, I just came back from Dallas where I met with Dr. Waxline.
Ah,
Yes. Well, we discussed my proposal at great length, and he seemed very impressed. Well, look, I'm not going to try to kid you here. It was not like a raving success, okay? He didn't see me. He couldn't perceive me as being He wants the cash, all the cash, up front, or he's not going to give me the rights.
Well, that's legitimate.
Legitimate? Come on. I mean, $500,000, huh? $500,000? All right, I can talk him down. I can do that easily. But I think what he wants is he needs to just be convinced. He needs to see it. He wants to see it. He wants to smell it. Perfectly legitimate request. But what I want to do is I want to just take the cash, right? I want to go up to his face and I go, look, here's cash. Come on, let's do it. Let's go, okay? Let's go, because quite honestly, I was off balance. That's not my town, Dallas. Come on, what is Dallas? You know, the thing I learned is, and what I realize now is that it doesn't matter who I am, okay? It doesn't matter what I believe. It's action, all right? It's all about taking action. That's what I'm going to do.
So yeah, he kind of goes off on a tangent. Doesn't even give Christopher Walken a chance to talk. Or Kim a chance to talk. If I can even call him.
Yeah.
He's just walking always. So he's like, and then he literally just everything he says, he shuts down 2 seconds later.
Yeah. It's this when you're watching this character, it's definitely like watching somebody who's used to talking to themselves.
Yes. Also known as crazy.
Yeah, I resemble that remark.
I love how he's listening. He's starting to come up with all the different ways of spinning his lie or his own conviction or whatever, and then he's just realizing it's like this is the first time that we actually see him say, "Yeah, no, this is just all bullshit. Here's the deal." But then he goes back for it. He's like, "All right, that was a breakthrough. Now let's go back to the old way."
So Kim tries to like ask what he can do to help him, and then Martin like implies that he would do anything to get money, which Kim like starts like wondering what the hell he means. He goes, "I make a lot of money, like, but maybe he needs help." He still thinks that Kim is a drug dealer, but Kim definitely is not a drug dealer. He's a businessman who does market analysis. Instantly, Martin apologizes to him and tells him he's stupid. But Kim says don't apologize, of course, because it's one of the rules. But he thinks the perspective is valuable. He may have some friends that can help him find money, that this has to be done. Kim says change is hard and we're not free. Then, as they're walking out of his office, they look over and Daniel Strong's killing his dad in another office.
That was so good. And they both reflect on it. They both stop. They look and they're like, right?
I wonder what was actually happening in that room.
It doesn't matter, Joe.
No, it really does. In the grand scheme, probably not. So Kim invites him to dinner and says to bring his friend, the artist, which of course he doesn't.
Never shows up.
He brings Marie.
Yeah.
They go to this weird like Japanese geisha restaurant where there's all kinds of music and dancing.
So great. Now on the okay, let's hold it for a minute on the geisha thing.
Okay.
This is another moment where you see, I think, also for a lot of people that don't live in super expensive, ultra wealthy, ultra exclusive Manhattan, like this is a plausible situation where it's like, oh, where else is this going to be happening? Unless you're actually in Tokyo or something, right? And the fact that all these businessmen clearly know who he is, and it's just like it's such a juxtaposition of what we're used to seeing. And again, here's Christopher Walken, who up to this point is playing the like straight guy in heavy drama and thriller, and he comes up to the mic and he starts. It's like karaoke. Now, fast forward 5 years to Fatboy Slim doing Weapon of Choice, and guess who's singing and dancing just like he was in this movie?
But
I'm pretty sure Spike Jonze saw this movie.
I'm pretty sure that this scene doesn't even need to be in this movie. We could have cut like another 5 minutes out of this movie.
It's so good. Yeah. It's so good.
This is the point at which I thought someone slipped something in my drink. Cause
I mean, he tells a Charles Manson joke.
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
I was talking to Charlie Manson.
And Martin's sitting there looking at him like, yeah, that's the
Oh
coolest
no, he
fucking
was
person I know.
completely enamored
Charlie
with Kim at
Manson.
that point. But I think then again, this scene is the attempt was there. I understand the reasons behind it, but it just falls short. I think they wanted to have a Tarantino moment in this movie, and this is the best attempt that David Sally could come up with, and it just falls flat for me because it's not well done.
Someone should have told him Tarantino.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's
And
construction
so-
for me. It's not constructed well. You know?
Yep.
And this is one of the reasons, because I embraced that this was not a linear movie, that I was like, oh wow, what's down this doorway here? This is crazy pants.
It's like we're in
I love
Wonkaland.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much. Yeah.
It's like Willy Wonkin. Willy Walken.
It is like like Christopher Walken is a little Willy Wonkish.
Yeah.
Hard
that's
to
true.
say.
Willy
altogether,
Wonka.
by the way.
Willy Walken.
Willy Walken.
Hey, I'm a Willy Walken. You want to come to my candy factory?
It's like Joe. You sound like Joey Bananas from Brooklyn. Not
I
Christopher.
don't know what I sound like.
I don't know what is.
I sound like somebody who's fucking pissed at this movie. So we're back at the apartment, and Martin asked Marie to take notes down that he needs to get a new suit. She asked for some reason what kind of name Kim is, because like that's important. And then Martin wants to get something for Kim, maybe some cologne or champagne. And then the phone rings, and he says, "Don't answer the phone on the first ring because it sounds desperate."
Oh yeah, he jumped all over her for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see that's where like the scene before, I think, has credence, because he was feeling beat. He's like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, and then he goes like, oh man, I had this fantastic night. Now his delusion is back in full force, and he walks in swinging himself like he's self-important, like someone who is successful, who has already gotten to the point where he wants to be, would act. I need a new suit. Don't answer that. He's just like, and she's like, yes, there's the guy who's got the dream, who's got the moxie. Yes. Oh, I'll help you right away. So you have this guy's going through this ebb and this flow of like this. Does he believe in himself, or has he got the dream or whatever? And it's a wild ride.
That is definitely a way to describe it.
I know it doesn't make you guys like
It
it
is a
anymore.
wild
I'm
ride.
just explaining,
So next we get another part of the movie. Like, I like this part of the movie, but I hate this fucker for saying Miami sucks, because fuck him, because Miami's awesome. But I'm gonna play a fairly decently length scene here, because this scene is actually pretty interesting.
This scene is absolutely amazing.
So here we go.
I hate fucking Miami. You're not safe in Miami. How the fuck you live there? I don't know. Miami. Fucking Miami's a fucking scheme town. Fucking Cubans. Crazed fucking mothers. I hate fucking Miami. I hate fucking Miami. Huh? You're not safe in Miami. How the fuck you live there? I don't know.
Martin doesn't live in Miami, Ron.
Well, where the fuck does he live?
Boca Raton.
You're fucking crazy, man. New York. New York. New York, man. Last summer.
How was it?
The best. Last summer. Ever been to Shea Stadium?
No.
He's never been there, Ron.
Well, we get there. This is at Shea. We get there. You know what I got? I'm with the Carol Stead, you know, the fitness. Amazing vibe. Fucking amazing vibe. And I have for this occasion, I put aside my very best, lovely product for Carol. No, I care about it very deeply. So, okay, we get to Shea. It's fucking Batman. Everybody with the bats. 50,000 bat wheels and social pants. Security's very tight. I have a private booth in the Circle. This is through GE, my little addictive exec at GE. So we on track. Me and Carol and my client, AC, has fucked me over. Because there's already somebody there. You know who? That talk show guy. He's always got like 3 drag queens and a Satanist. And he's there with a girl. He can't be more than 14. Fucking guy. My daughter watches that show. And between us, he's a big substance abuser.
I asked him to leave. I mean, I come to watch a ball game with my good friend Carol, and I'm forced to encounter Stevie baby fucking cokehead. So one thing leads to another. Politeness goes out the window. He comes at me. Get there straight in hand.
Please.
What do?
I have a bat.
I have a bat. I take this bat. I quaint this individual in the head with this bat. Boom! Right? Boom! He doesn't go down.
Please.
He walks out the door, comes back with 2 security guards. Is there a problem here, boys? Well, this man, well, I completely understand. And here's something for your trouble.
How much?
I give this good man $1,000 U.S. currency, and they are very grateful. Mr. Microphone sits down, doesn't speak, doesn't move the rest of the night. Moody fucking person. Let's take it. Great ball. Home with Carol where we romp in the flower of our youth. I win. I dominate. I get all the marbles, and that is why I love New York. I don't look good in clothes. How much you pay for that suit?
Nothing but a suit, Ron. It was a gift.
Fuck you. I'm a fan. Bogus, Madison Avenue, repressed skank. Spent 4 years sucking bung water at Hofstra, just like me. What is it, Marvin?
It's Martin.
Yeah, well, what are we here for?
Okay, Ron. So.
Okay, so that's a fucking crazy ass, just like run-on sentence that never ends.
Yeah, that was.
It is, and it's John Turturro at his like. We were all just beginning to be exposed to John Turturro, this like sort of crazy kind of actor guy.
This was just an outtake from the writer's room, I feel, of this movie.
This is so within the movie, all right, Ron is not, he doesn't do drugs, okay? But he is the encapsulation of the drug-fueled parties that created this movie. Like, that character is what happened when they wrote this flick. And like I even think that, you know, again, it's about construction. The choreographed Taylor scene when the music is playing with the people coming in and out of the exactly
like out of Hudsucker Proxy or something.
You mean the blasphemous scene where they talk shit about Miami?
Whatever. Okay. It pissed me off because it was a fucking Coen Brothers ripoff. Okay, but poorly executed. No,
but they hadn't even started yet.
Are you kidding me? Yes.
That early with their style
Arizona,
of stuff.
Miller's Crossing, Barton Fink, and the Hudsucker Proxy all came out before this movie.
Barton Fink and Hudsucker Proxy. Yeah.
So for me, it's like they said, you know, they're at these parties. They say, we got to have a scene like this in this movie because it's going to be the best thing ever. And it's just poorly executed. It could have been cool, but it also didn't belong. It doesn't belong in this movie. It doesn't make any kind of continuity sense to have this choreographed thing in the middle of this movie like this.
I agree with you. It fizzled out too. I mean, it was done, like, if you're talking about from a technical perspective, you had moments where the camera like didn't feel like it knew where to go. And so it's just
right.
Or the actors.
Even one shot from that sequence is like, all right, just pull up to a shirt and we'll transition into the next shot. But it wasn't clean, so you had like this out of focus. It just wasn't technically executed.
So yeah, I mean, again, it goes. I think for me, the whole thing where the movie fails is intent versus execution. That's where it falls short for me. The intent is there. I understand what they were trying to hit, but they missed. And this scene definitely is the epitome of that for me.
I can get behind that with the mechanics of it, as with the and right out of the gate the Hudsucker Proxy thing. I completely forgot that was Coen Brothers, to be honest. But this, I love Hudsucker Proxy, but that makes sense in Hudsucker Proxy, and you can tell that it is they're reaching for it for sure. If you take that out, what I love is we're met with John Turturro, who, visually speaking, he looks like Rosanna Dana almost.
It is great.
Like his hair's all out the side. He's got this crazy mid-90s funky suit on. It looks like a cross between Arsenio Hall and Rosanna Dana. And his whole rant about the 20,000 bat wielding sociopaths. It's like this is gonna be fun, and then cutting back to Walken, and you see him, he's delighted at this crazy friend of his, and him going on and on and on about Florida, and then he goes, he doesn't live there, bro.
Yeah.
Well, he does live in Florida.
Right.
He doesn't live in Miami. Which I find it funny to my earlier comparison about the bullshit artist in like who he could be compared to. Do you know where Mar-a-Lago is? It's in fucking Boca Raton.
Yeah.
The parallels are eerie.
The parallels are eerie
they're-
there.
yes.
I just gotta bring that out there. So Ron is a businessman and knows about trust and discretion. Martin tells him he wants to finance a film. When he asks for the movie, though, he tells him about Marie's screenplay for some reason. He doesn't bring up what he actually wants to film.
Right. And when you see that happen, you can see that he's seeing the cracks in his own.
Yeah.
That at least that's what I picked up on it. Like when he does that, he's like, okay, I've tried to convince so many people about this thing that I have a vision for, and this is the movie I'm going to make. But I think that I'm just going to go for the easy one here. It's like he switches tactics. It's like he can tell him about this great thing he wants, or he can sell him this thing that he's probably going to like, oh, that sounds great.
We flash over to Marie, who's now writing another story on the typewriter called Dead World. Then we flash back over. And Kim starts telling Martin that Ron knows lots of people. He tells him if he floats his condo for a couple days, he can get some money. And Martin asks Kim what he wants. Like, tells you want like 20% or something. Kim's like, I don't need money. Look at me. I have money. I just want to do something important. And then they start quoting the book at each other again, like long lost lovers. We get back another Daniel Strong flash, and it's him getting nourished by the wilderness. This is where he's killing the animal. And then he gets the wilderness's secrets.
Yeah, that was definitely really happening there, was it not?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Ugh.
We get now to a warehouse in Ozone Park set up by Ron where there's going to be a drug deal going on. The dealer shows up. They're acting all fucking weird like everyone in this movie does. Ron introduces like the clients to each other. Martin shakes hands, which is awkward because like I guess you don't shake hands with drug dealers. I don't really fucking know.
Yeah, he has no idea what to do in this.
And then he pulls out the money. The dealer says that he had met Martin or someone like him before, he thought. He says, nope, he was thinking about a good man, and then asks Martin if he's a good man. Tries to shake up Martin about cheating him. One of the goons goes outside to get the drugs, and they start making small talk for some reason about where he's from. Apparently he's Honduran, and he's only been here for 3 years. The last person who needs some coke tries the coke and says it's good. Then he pulls out a fucking like gigantic like deli scale.
I know.
Where the fuck does
Where
the
did
scale
that-
come from?
It was so great.
Which is hilarious. Well, it just shows like none of them know how to do this.
Like this is the biggest fucking scale I've ever seen too. I'm like, why
Oh,
is
and
this thing
it's
even
funny
here?
to talk about the actor. His face, I kept like flashing. I know this guy. I know this guy. He played Skank in The Crow. Like, okay,
wow.
And so he was such an oily, weaselly, dumb as fucking dirt character in that. And so I give the actor credit. His name is Angel David, to just make that transformation into this character, even in that small role. It's very cool.
Yeah. So the dealer says, you don't trust me, and gets all pissed off and leaves. And Kim just wants to use his scale.
I brought a scale.
I brought the scale with me. I'm going to weigh the cocaine.
Joe, I'm gonna ask
I'm doing
you
it on purpose. I'm doing
I
it
got
on
two
purpose at
things
this
to
point.
say. Please stop doing the accent. And the next time we have my son Tim on, ask him to do his Chris Walken, and you will shit yourself because it is flawless. All right?
Okay. Yeah, I do have only certain accents. I can really
as
do
in
anyway,
zero.
so. That's not true. No, I can do Maury from Big Mouth. and I can do Rush Limbaugh pretty good.
I said it before, Joe. If your life depended on it, doing an accent, you would not be around. Just okay.
That's not true. Because I wanna get Tony Monget from our Halloween episode to be Donald Trump, and I can be Rush Limbaugh, and we can have a great conversation.
Right. I might pay to listen to that. I'm sorry. I digress. Please
hilarious.
proceed.
All right, so I'm getting ready to play a clip anyway. So here we go.
What was that? What just happened here, Kim? We're so close. What happened here?
I'm wondering if this is set up.
Huh?
They left somebody behind with guns. They got guns.
Or something.
Oh, a setup.
There's no phone in this room, is there?
No, Ron. No phone.
Why didn't you just kick them off? Huh? You and your fucking butcher shop scale. He's always got to be different. Just... What the fuck is that, man?
What's it look like?
Kim, you should have told me, man. Tell you what? Bet you had a gun? I would have told you to shoot yourself first. You got no business with a fucking gun, man! Can't have an adventure without a gun.
This isn't an adventure, Kim. This is business.
Hey, give me that. No! Hey, you're gonna get us all killed, fucker. Can't you read the signs? That keep on your packing, we'd all be dead. Still time for that, isn't it?
Okay, that's it. We're done here, right? Let's go. Let's go. Let's get in the car right now. This is over. Right now. Bring the gun. Let's bring the scale. Come on. Let's go in the car.
You gonna come?
Yeah, let's go.
I love it. Give me the gun.
No. I like how he hears a police siren and then decides, like, well, okay, we'll just shoot a gun.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
There's no phone in
I
here,
know.
is there? It's like there.
I know. This
They're
scene
in an
is
abandoned
genuinely funny.
warehouse.
Like it's genuinely funny.
It's
Like,
so good.
I am fucking stressed out.
There's
Yeah.
still time for that,
Like,
isn't
these
there?
people are just stressing me the fuck out this whole movie. I'm like, can you all just, like, fucking be cool? Like, have they never heard of Be Cool, Bro?
Well, this is also an interesting point in the film because you see Griffin Dunn's character sort of begin to question question the validity of Kim's
clout. Yes.
Power or
Yeah.
clout. Exactly. Oh, clout.
No, yeah, he's definitely thinking, what have I gotten myself into? Like, yes, there's no question. It's coming to
Yeah.
the surface now for him. And by the way, Ozone Park, it's not even close to the worst place in Queens. I'm just letting you guys know that. It's not the best, but, I mean, I dated a girl from Ozone Park back in the Brooke Shields days. So, it's not so bad. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, so they're in a car.
It sounds good.
They're in a car driving. Martin wanted to double his money, and he's mad. Kim didn't want to deal with that dealer. Ron says, I have a thought, because he's cooled down a little bit, and he's thinking now, maybe not drugs. Martin's like, I need to get Marie because it's her birthday, and then Kim tries to, tell him, why does she need to come there? We don't need her. Tell her it's a change of plans. Tell her that Martin wants to bring her because it's her birthday, and he
To the
promised
Rainbow
take her
Room.
out.
At 30 Rock.
Yep.
Yep.
I didn't know
Rainbow
where that
Room
was.
is
I'm not a
the
New York
NBC,
guy,
top
so
of the NBC building, 30 Rock. Very classy restaurant.
So Marie is at the place getting ready to go out. Martin comes in and says how pretty she is. He says they have to go, but they have to stop somewhere and do something first. He says he got a car. She's like, oh, you got us a car? And he's like, yeah, but it's not what you think.
There's other people in it, I think he says to her.
Yeah. She asks if they're still going out. He's like, yes, but we got to stop in New Jersey. She wants to bring a cake with her for some reason.
Weird.
I made a cake.
Ron, now they're back in the car. Ron asks her about working with Martin and asks if she's an actress. And she says she's a writer. Then all of a sudden, for no reason, they almost get in an accident, but nobody seems to worry about that.
I know. That was totally random and unnecessary.
And then we get the line, happy fucking birthday. Do what you do with a passion.
Well, Walken does a little, he
what does
sings
he
a
say,
little
the
song
Shoeshine
right
Boy?
there, too, which is really odd. Shoeshine Boy. Yeah, I mean, there you go. There's people that do that in high stress situations are
definitely.
legitimately questionable. So that's where you see like, okay, he's starting to act irrational, and now he's he's singing "Shoe Shine Boy," which is like happy song in the midst of this craziness, and we as a viewer start to go like,
Yes.
oh, this ain't.
No, you're absolutely right, Todd. That kind of person and someone who hums to themselves in a store while shopping, they're not right. Okay, no one should do that. No one, no matter what they're humming, no matter how happy the tune is, they shouldn't hum. And I bring it up because it happens in my wife's. She works at a consignment shop, and it happens quite often. Like she'll text me another Hummer, and they're walking.
Wait, are you sure that's what she's talking about?
We take care of the other part later. But yeah, so I'm sorry.
She's making a lot of the consignment stores.
Exactly. But yeah. Sorry for the sidetrack, but yes, those who sing and those who hum are not right in the head.
Sounds like you're a humbug.
That goes without saying.
I always think of the cable guy.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we're in this kitchen scene with Ron and Marie, and she's making a sandwich or something. Says like they're gonna take like 30 minutes or something for her to watch a TV or read a magazine. Then he takes off this wig and walks into a squash court.
And it's funny because he's asking Marie, where are they? Are they in the office or are they in the squash court? Where are they? And it's like the squash court. Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, what doesn't make sense about this movie is like, you think I would like it because I like movies that are a bunch of random bullshit, but this is like way too much random bullshit even for me.
I love it.
So I got another clip here for us to play.
Well, he takes off the wig, but he's got a row of them, and he's a hair guy. He's a hairdresser guy.
Yeah, I just don't still understand this movie. Where the fuck are they even at? Whose house is this?
Well, it's his studio, I think.
They're in his house near the squash court.
All right, so here we go. I'm gonna play this because I don't know what else to say at this point.
Kim, I don't mean to appear ungrateful or anything, but I think we have to agree that what we're doing just stays normal. You know, I'm calling this business. It's really how I need it to be.
You brought a girl. Is that business?
I'm talking about a code of conduct.
Normal compared to what? Live your life behind the desk. Is that normal?
I don't know anything about that, okay? I just know this is about the money, okay? This is business, right? This has to get done.
I have a business. Martin, I have an office. I go there every day.
This is something else.
Tuna fish? Tuna fish on her birthday? Martin, you gotta wake up. There's no way to treat a lady.
I know. So what's this?
Credit cards, you name it, I got it. My friend runs a little operation, runs the cards from plates, cuts them out of sheets, clean blank cards. Then we got kids working Macy's for Christmas. They hand over receipts with the numbers on them.
Credit numbers.
Exactly. My buddy gets these numbers, he endorses the numbers on the Virgin cards. See? Take a card like this. What's the credit limit? 5,000, sell on the street $200 for a $5,000 value. Get the picture?
I think so.
Clean, untraceable. Can't go wrong. Gotta say it's more you speak. Don't you think Martin more politically correct? And just picture all these nice folks, happy little citizens, running around, blowing out their credit limits, huh?
What do you think?
We'll call you.
What's that mean?
We have to consult.
Well, consult fast. Jump on it, or call somebody else. Somebody with more vision, right? Because I am doing you a favor here.
Fuck you very much.
No. Thank you so much for stopping by, all right? Thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You are such a fucking tourist.
Yeah, sure. That's me.
It is you. It is you. I got your history, pal.
Ron, let me talk to him.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Look at him. You know how many times a week he gets laid? Who gives a shit? Right? Neither do I. 15 years I know him. Since college. Butter wouldn't nut. I don't think it's happened. You ever been laid, kid?
Never. What's it like?
You'll never, man. You mess with all kinds of whack shit. You do lots of pictures, huh, man? But you never roll down the windows. That's made you one fucked up little unit. You never played your chances. Man, you got lots of toys, but you never played your chances.
Oh, that's what I want to do to this movie.
Great.
Right.
No, come on. That's fantastic.
When this movie comes on, I'm like, yep, fuck you very much.
So great. Have you ever been laid? No, never.
It's.
Yeah.
I have a business. I go there.
So Kim shoots
got a desk.
Ron, Martin's trying to leave, but then realizes Ron is dead.
Yeah.
Maria's watching
Where's
TV,
Ron?
and of course,
He's
guess
dead.
who's on the fucking TV again?
Yeah. Playing the
yeah.
violin.
And he's playing the violin for some reason.
Very bad.
I don't fucking
Very
understand this
badly
fucking
mimicked
movie.
by Mr. Hopper. It was so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Martin and Kim carry Ron out and put him in the trunk of the car.
Marie sees it, but doesn't react. I know he's wrapped up, but it's
Yeah.
a body-sized thing they're putting in the trunk. Wrapped up, and she doesn't react.
And then
Where's Ron?
Kim's like, get in the car. She's like,
know,
what?
my
I need
cake
my
and my
cake and my coat. Martin goes inside. You can tell he's upset, and he gives her a big hug. He tells her happy birthday. She's now finally being a little weirded out after all the shit that's gone on.
Yeah.
We get back into a scene of them in the car. Kim is like singing and driving the car fucking insanely fast to the back of the city.
Yes.
This is where he's doing the
yep.
shoe shine
Yeah.
boy,
Yep,
actually.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, we jumped that gun.
Marie then asks where Ron is. Now they've been driving for probably like 20 minutes. Kim says, I don't apologize.
Yeah.
He misses their turn, and then a cop pulls up behind them. He pulls over and tells Ron to hide the briefcase under the seat for some reason. The cop walks up and tells him that the speed limit's 55 and they were doing 76. Kim hands over his license, and he says he was lost on his way back to Tokyo. Martin's like looking for the registration, and Kim's like, oh, I should have set the cruise control. The cop asks Kim to get out of the car. Kim starts being more difficult, turns the car off and drops the keys, and then asks the cop to shine his light in and then shoots him.
Yep.
Marie flips the fuck out, as one would, and he shoots the cop again. Martin somehow just calmly walks back to the police motorcycle to turn the radio off. And Kim's like, I'm not afraid because I was strong. I didn't think I'd be strong, but I am strong. And he shoots the cop again.
He holds the gun sideways. Look at his shaking hand. And then he points it up. Look how steady this is.
Yeah. Kim tells Maria to get in the car as they throw the cop off the water or off the bridge into the water, and they drive off again. Now we get another Daniel Strong cutaway, and he's sitting in the rain. Kim pulls over and starts singing again. Martin is kind of lost. He doesn't really know what to do at this point because he's just realizing that, this guy he's been kind of idolizing is fucking insane.
Yeah, he gets it now.
Like not cool. Like he's like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. Kim.
This is. Are we approaching the gun?
Yeah. Sorry. Kim's just trying to stay cool. Marie's like wondering if they called in his license plate, and Kim's like, "Can they trace it back to him?" Which I don't understand because it's not even
Right,
Kim's car,
exactly.
it's Ron's car. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't believe Marie. Martin's now losing it. Kim has already lost it, and then Kim shows Marie Ron's body, and then she screams again. Kim says, "The past is the past. We need to move on. It's a dead planet. He doesn't need forgiveness." Martin's like, "Fuck it, I'm done. I'm out. Like, you know what? I thought I wanted to do this, but nope, I'm fucking done." Kim's like, "I'm not done," and then we get another little scene here. So I'm gonna go ahead and push play.
I don't know.
You don't know? You must have an opinion.
I don't know. I don't know. Because my brain is gone and I can't even think anymore.
Try.
Try and think.
Mark.
Here, check it out. No, Kim. No. Oh, no. Kim, no.
I'm going to tell you something, and you can tell your boyfriend, and it might help you because it's true.
Everything up to this moment
Is the past. We're done with it. You're concerned about that cop. I'm not. It's clear to me. What was he trying to do?
punish us.
It's a dead planet we're standing on. I don't need to be forgiven. What are you shaking your head at?
Kim, just lay off.
Floated into this. You think this is not your life?
Your life? Leave her alone.
Hasn't started yet.
It's not your adventure, but it's definitely your life. Okay, Kim, you're flipping out.
No.
Yes, you are. You little. Look, A little. I mean, you're upset. I'm upset. We're all very upset. This is a very upsetting time. And what? Let me have the gun.
The gun?
Yeah. Because let me just have it for. What? Just come on. It's my turn. Let me have it. Come on. What am I talking about? Fuck this, man. Fuck this. This is not my life. This has nothing to do with me.
What do you mean?
I'm done. I'm finished with it. I'm finished. It's over.
Just like that?
Yeah. Just like that. Come on, Marie.
Whoa! This is your mess! Martin! Your mess! I'm not gonna get stuck in it.
Yeah, so Kim now has shot Martin.
In the back.
In the back while he's walking away because he's done with this. Fuck this. While this is going on, it's getting fucking really fucking crazy. Marie comes up with some piece of wood she finds and hits
Nice
Kim
shot.
with it. Yep. Martin like takes the wood and then just starts raging out on fucking Kim, killing him. Like he is just gone. He's like, there's nothing of him left in there. It's just pure animal. He starts yelling that he's stronger than him. That's what I know. And then Martin and Marie go to each other and cry and start hugging each other. Then we get no sort of cleanup whatsoever. It's just like random bullshit, random bullshit, random bullshit. And we're in a fucking movie theater now watching a horror movie that's basically the movie that Maria was describing earlier. As the movie plays out, zooms in on, Marie sitting there and Martin sitting there and Waxling sitting there in their little private screening room. Waxling says it's not his cup of tea, but they did spook him.
I love how he's sitting there, he's jumping in his seat, cringing.
Yeah. So Martin's talks about how he's a businessman and how he shopped this movie and made triple his investment. He just keeps the costs low and respects the needs of the audience, and you'll make money. At which point he pulls out an envelope and hands Waxling money for the Daniel Strong rights.
Which, by the way, that what you just said was basically pays off the commentary that I was mentioning before. It's like, look, give them what they want, and just keep that machine going, and everybody's gonna make some money.
Apparently, this movie did not make any money because it did not give me what I wanted. Waxling looks at him and says, "You're my greatest student."
Yeah, it's his only student.
He didn't believe in him before, but now he believes in him. Martin looks so fucking happy that he got his little fucking he likes me, you really like me moment.
Well, he's got a very confident goatee now.
He's rocking it.
You know.
And a pimp
in his own
Cane
now.
was the best.
He's made it.
Yeah.
He's made it. I think there's what's interesting there is you also see a huge flip in role there. You have Waxley who's sort of kowtowing to Martin, and Martin is like,
exactly.
Oh my son.
Exactly.
All it took to give him that real confidence boost he needed was
murder.
Just straight up murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick, the girl, the Dead World girl in the flick they watched, that's Raquel Welch's daughter, Tawny Welch. Yeah, she was in Cocoon.
Oh, nice.
She didn't act much, but yeah. So, us old folks know Raquel Welch and had a big crush on her, so her daughter doesn't look bad either. Anyway.
We get another Daniel Strong intro of him walking through a field, and then a little voiceover. A boy walks through a door wondering who he might turn out to be. And finally, the best part of this movie, the credits. Because I know this fucker's over. And Doug, remember what you were saying earlier? What's one of your favorite things about
He's
finishing
tearing
a
up
movie?
the notes. Yeah,
there we go.
I did say that.
Finally,
I did say that.
Oh, I've been waiting.
And here's the best part. Somewhere, somehow, some way, somebody is going to make a reference to this movie, and you're going to light up on them,
That's true.
and you guys are going to talk about it.
That is true.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah, Joe, those notes are the past,
Exactly.
brother. They don't matter.
Yep. Just because someone finds an industry doesn't make an industry.
All right, boys. So we are at the point where
I feel so much better now.
feel the weight's been lifted.
Oh God.
We're at the point where we're going to review this puppy.
Yeah. So without further ado, here we go.
I am a movie critic by trade, and until recently, I got paid to tell you people which movies merely stink and which ones you shouldn't screen near an open flame. Well, I'm putting the burden of lousy movies back on you. It's very simple. If you stop going to bad movies, they'll stop making bad movies. If the movie used to be a TV show, just don't go. After Roman numeral 2, give it a rest. If it's a remake of a classic, rent the classic.
Tell them you want stories about people, not $100 million of stunts and explosives. People, it's up to you. If the movie stinks, just don't go. If the movie stinks, just don't go.
You love me. You really love me.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah.
You're right.
We're working on it.
That's what she said.
We'll work
Woo!
on it.
Yeah.
No,
I'm gonna make it longer.
No,
I like 4 more minutes. I needed that palate cleanser this time. So, I think we should definitely let Todd go first on this grades.
You know what?
One.
Yeah,
0 to
scale
5.
of
You
1 to
can
5.
explain also ahead of time if you want to.
All right.
No, I'm just saying. I mentioned 0 to 5
Go
because
ahead.
I don't know that it's not going to get a 0 from one of those two.
Okay. I think you have to consider how vehemently and thoughtfully you've watched, researched, and talked about this movie in the consideration for the rating. Because if it was truly as crap as it would have been completely panned. Nobody would have said anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just that's a theory. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to say it's a out of 5 for me. It is a 3.37. Now, I will qualify that because I've recommended it to many people because it is so out there and has so many nuggets, and I can see past the stuff that's like, yeah, this happened.
All right.
So that's where I'm at. 3.7. What I say?
You said 3.37,
Yeah,
as in 37effects.com. The word 30, the number 7, fx.com. So,
Right.
yeah.
Nice plug. I'll go next. I'll say, Todd, the research and the deep dive, people research the Holocaust too.
Oh.
Like,
All right, that.
Wow.
Wow.
I love you, Eric. Oh, you're the best.
no, I'm giving you a little grief. Like I said, there are redeeming qualities in this movie. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. I think I agree with Doug in that it bit off a little more than it could chew. You know what I mean?
I don't disagree.
So I'm going to have to say, for me, this movie is going to get a 1.9.
Oh, damn, Eric.
My lowest score so far.
Oh, I don't think like that was too low.
Oh, I know. We're going to save Joe for last because I can't wait.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I really am trying to bring to mind all the things I enjoyed about this movie. Like I said, the acting, the performances were pretty outlandish and cool and fun. they just, the writing, the monologues, the dialogue just dragged on and on and on. And there were some standout scenes, but yeah, for me overall, it's gonna live at 1.9.
All right. Yeah, for me, again, to repeat myself, intent versus execution is my biggest issue with this. Todd, I commend you to the moon and stars and back for your intelligent defense of this movie. And honestly, it swayed me. It honestly helped me understand what I saw. And if you hadn't been this vehement and passionate in your defense, this would have gotten a sub 2 rating from me. But given what we've just gone through for the last 2 hours, I am going to put this at a 2.1. Just barely over the 2 line.
Right on.
Look, it's not as unwatchable as Wonder Woman 1984. So, for me anyway, I could watch this again where I'll never watch that movie ever again. So, that's where I am.
All right, so if you just listened to me talk for the past 2.5 hours about this
I really
movie,
didn't.
You already know where I stand on this. I will say the actors' performances are the only thing that's going to give this movie a bump in my eyes. But I got to make sure I'm in the right mindset before I review this movie. So give me 1 second.
Best movie ever.
All right. Fucking best movie ever. No, I'm gonna give this movie probably a 0.9. Just 'cause I don't even want to give it a 1, but I don't want to be too bad to the actors who did a good job. And I'm probably more pissed at it than anything because I had to fucking take notes and write all the fucking. I probably would have gave it a higher score if someone else had led this episode.
Well, Todd, I do have to let you know that. So, we were originally recording this episode a couple of weeks back, but we had some technical difficulties. That night, we did get through No Country for Old Men, and the person who just gave this movie a 0.9 was going to give No Country for Old Men a 3.5, which is embarrassingly low, but bumped it up to a 4 because he had also watched this movie that night.
Yeah, this movie made that movie get a higher score.
He took a half a point away from Search and Destroy and gave it to No Country for Old Men. To me, that still doesn't justify his shit-ass explanation for a genius movie like No Country for Old Men. But in any case, that was Joe's logic.
Well, you got to remember, I don't like fucking Western
all right.
movies.
We're not going to get into the fact that that's not a Western. But anyway, Todd.
So my personal biases are what.
But anyway, so Todd, that's what happened with that. Anyway, yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, this movie made me miserable.
See, and it's weird too because when I'm talking about things like movies and stuff with my friends, they always give me grief about how harshly I criticize things. Or even my kids, they're watching like the new the new Captain America. It was like the first show, and I walked in, and in 2 seconds I go, well, that's not plausible because those guys would never be allowed to have those haircuts, and they're like, and they were Army guys, right? And then there's this one 30 seconds later where they're on this football field and he breaks rank and does a fist in the air kind of thing. I'm like, that's not plausible. He would never be able to break rank. And they're like, shut up, Dad. And yet I've watched this movie 6 times and I hate Blade Runner. So it's there's something about this that endeared me to it. And I understand completely all of the criticisms,
I get it. And
towards this,
I mean, so much respect to you for that because I understand that as well. We talked in a previous episode, the three of us. I mentioned the movie Battleship, and I mentioned that it is I will watch it anytime it's on movie, and these two guys they can't get their heads around that. But I understand their feelings and completely respect their feelings because it's a shitty movie. It's just one that it's dumb
Let's
fun.
put it this way.
So I understand that. I understand the passion that can arise from a movie on a personal level, and I completely respect it.
Oh yeah,
Doug. Let's put it this way. I had one of my movies that I actually ended up changing to Biodome was Kids. I was less depressed watching Kids than this.
Wow, that says a lot. Holy shit.
No, but Todd, I would Doug too. I completely listen. There are embarrassing movies, and I wouldn't even consider this an embarrassing movie. But I've got movies in my collection that I love. That if I showed them to you, you'd be like, "There's no inherent value in this whatsoever."
Yeah.
And for whatever the reason, whether it's something from childhood or something that just grabbed me a certain way, dude, I have a movie called The Skateboard Kid, which is about a sentient skateboard voiced by Dom DeLuise.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
I
I'm
want to
following
watch
you.
this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because Dom DeLuise.
I don't know.
It's already got more plot than this movie.
But yeah, man, I completely admire your dedication to this film, and I get it. You know, it's not for me, but I can see what you love about it.
Yeah.
Everybody's got that flick in their
there's
pocket.
stuff.
Everybody does. So it's a cool thing.
Yeah. I'm just happy that for you guys, Big Trouble's not the lowest rated movie.
Yeah, you know what? I just want to re-record the ratings portion of that episode because I was way too nice. I can't believe I gave that like a 3.5 and then thought about what the fuck was wrong
You're
with
just
me.
mad.
Little China?
You're just mad because Samantha asked how fucking old this
I
fucker
know.
was.
Look, because I've never been had my balls busted for my age. With these people I hang out with now, no, so that hurt. All right.
Yeah, we're ageist.
Please. Oh, it hurts me so much. Bring it on, bitches.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doug, it's like I said, it's a mystery to me. You're somewhere between, I don't know, 50 to 80.
Well,
depending on what we're talking
I'm
about.
older than Todd, but we're in the same decade. It's that simple.
Okay.
Really? I thought Todd was way younger. I thought he was like my age.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right,
I honestly
fine.
don't know how old you
I
are, but you
overaged
seem like
him.
you're
I'm
my
sorry,
age.
Todd. Yes, you. But
I would have thought he's maybe in his 30s, but then this movie came up, so that kind of bumps it up a little.
You know what? So,
Hello, fellow kids.
I do have to say that I think this episode is definitely the reason why we enjoyed doing this cast more than anything, because there was honest dialogue, and we had people on.
We needed one of these episodes.
We had people on both sides of the table, and it was fun. I had a friggin' blast. Like I an absolute rip-roaring blast, you know. So
Awesome.
yeah,
I did too.
So we want.
And
Exactly.
I got three more
That's
people
exactly
to watch
it.
this movie.
And more than once.
It's like you're a masochist.
No, he's the sadist. we're the masochists for
Oh,
watching
sure,
this
yeah.
multiple times. He's the sadist.
Yeah. I said that backwards.
All right, so we want to do some plugs? All right.
Oh, yeah.
Eric, what do you
Hit it
got?
up. Plug it up.
All right, Art of Eric Pabon, PABON.com for all of your art prints for sale, commissions to book. If you're into stuff that I'm into, like Star Wars, Marvel, DC, general nerdiness, I might
Yes
have
to
something
all
that
those.
interests you. So
Yeah.
check it out.
Yeah,
Art of Eric
Todd, real
Pabon.com.
quick, especially based on your comments about what you made fun of your daughters watching with the Marvel stuff, I think Eric's art would be right up their alley. And it's so reasonably priced, the prints are, and they're absolutely gorgeous. I've got one on my wall, and I'm going to get more. That's just a recommendation. So, yeah,
I will
artofericpavone.com.
absolutely
Check it
look
out.
deeper into that.
Joe, what do you got?
Thank you, sir.
A bunch of shitty guitar pedals. I like my pedals.
Oh, this self-deprecating shit is just...
They're not very good. They look like shit. And if you want to listen to me on another podcast, which is actually the same thing, just
man.
shitty, it's called Just Surprise Me. It's bad. Oh, you should listen next. Or Well, you should listen like 3
No,
or 4
exactly.
weeks ago. I don't remember fucking when this is even coming out, but Doug got really drunk and threw
Todd,
up.
it was
It was
bad.
pretty
man.
awesome.
We got 2 episodes out of this. And,
and he was talking shit about Steve Rao
We'll
from
take a
60
step
Cycle
back. Well,
Home.
by this time it's out, and Steve is either flown east and beating the living shit out of me, or he's fine with it. Yeah, Todd, it got bad. Wow, it got bad. They're fun to listen to, but it got bad. It doesn't happen often.
I thought
No,
it was awesome.
well, no, I paused.
Did you throw
and
up
made it
on
totally
mic?
different. And when I came back, I was actually almost
Oh,
coherent. People could understand me better. Yeah, that was, and that is something
been
that the last time that
exercised.
happened was 2016. So it's not something I do often, but it was fun. Anyway, so Joe plugged. I'll plug, and then we'll let our
Fantastic.
guest of honor plug. So I also build pedals, or I build a pedal, soon to be 2 pedals. The Fat Guy Little Coat Fuzz, and you can find me at 37fx.com. The word 30, the number 7, fx.com. And Todd, so please plug away.
Awesome. Yeah. Yes. Give me. So I.
I know.
You can.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not used to doing this part. I'm usually teeing it up. So yeah, you can check out the Guitar Knobs podcast at theguitarknobs.com, and this is where we interview boutique builders of guitar gear that we love, and try to learn as much as we can. And you can also check out my band, the Villentinos, that's at thevillentinos.com. We're on Bandcamp, and you go to Spotify, you can listen to the album and all that business, and we'll be working on some new
Excellent.
stuff as well. But yeah,
I can't thank you enough, Todd, for doing this. I had a great time. I think I can speak for us
Yeah.
all. We all had a great time, and
Yeah, all jokes about the movie itself aside,
And,
yeah, it was been fun.
oh yeah, well that's what it's about.
Yeah.
You know, we're just having a good old talk about this stuff. I'm thrilled to be on. I honestly I've been.
excellent.
I'm just so excited to be on this show. I mean, honestly, I love talking about movies, and I love talking with other people that love talking about stuff. And
Thank you.
it's great that you guys have the show, and I hope it. I will certainly be plugging it on our next episode that we have coming up, and we talk about, hey, what do we do this week?
I can't
And
wait.
This will definitely be
When will
coming
this
up.
actually
Yeah, it's going to be a
released?
little
Let me
while,
look at the
but
list here. It looks like it's coming out, well, actually probably the 30th of this month, because
okay.
we had a couple
So
movies
hey,
move
at
around.
least it's the same month.
Because of technical.
That's cool.
Yeah, it should be coming
And
out April 30th.
Todd, I
Cool.
mean, you're welcome back anytime, dude. You know, we might not let you
Oh, yeah.
pick the
Oh,
movie,
yeah,
but we'll send you a list. And seriously, we've got our list booked out through next year, so we'll send you a list, man. If you want to do one, you let us know. We'll put you on the list because this was a blast, man. We'd love to have you back.
Oh man, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's definitely fun, and I like that you can tell
No,
us how it is,
exactly,
too, and not be
exactly.
afraid.
He's a grown ass man. He can stand up for himself.
Let's do Search and Destroy too.
Yeah.
There is a
Oh, God.
2020 Search and Destroy movie. I have no idea what it's about, but
You know, out of Just Surprise Me and Masters, I've never missed an episode, but I may have to.
that's true. That's true. So, yeah.
Well, thanks so much, guys, for having me on. Absolutely,
Excellent.
anytime I would love to do this again.
What is the next movie we got coming out? Is it
I
Ocean's
believe
11?
it is. Yes.
Ocean's
2001
11.
beautiful movie. Ocean's 11.
Hate that movie. No, I'm-
All the
We
beautiful
had a good
people.
I
time
love
on
that
it,
movie.
so.
It's a great movie.
On that note,
Fantastic.
guys, it's
Camera.
time for lights.
Fuck off.